Y'all are not ready for this. We're talking absolute unit energy here. This guy solo raids the royal palace, kicks down the door, and demands the king's head on a platter. Anyone foolish enough to check him gets deleted instantly. Literally one Thanos-style snap and it's game over for the opposition. Heads are rolling left and right. And the guy causing this chaos, he's rocking silver hair and pure street punk drip, like he owns the place. Meet Demirgos, the Demon King himself. This dude is ridiculously OP, commanding legions of demons numbering in the hundreds of thousands. Even the human emperor is just an NPC to him. If Demirgos wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, he could turn humanity into dust in a heartbeat. But here's the plot twist. Despite being the ultimate boss, he's kind of over it. He just wants a chill, normal life. But his manager, Alex, isn't having it. Alex wants him to take the throne and rule the demon world like his pops did. Because of this, Demirgos has been stuck in a hellish boot camp since childhood, trained by Alex, who happens to be one of the 7 Dukes of Hell. If Demirgos ever slacked off, Alex would humble him real quick, with some brutal physical education. That's why our MC still holds a massive grudge. Problem is, Alex is also his ride-or-die loyalist. So Demirgos can throw hands and rough him up, but he can't actually unsubscribe Alex from life. Running out of options, Alex pitched a wild idea. If you don't want the crown, pass it to your kid. There's a princess right there in the castle. Have a kid, leave the heir here and bounce. In 20 years, Alex would groom the kid to be the next Demon King. Honestly, looking at the Princess Demirgos was low-key considering it. But then the logic hit him. He literally just unalived her dad 5 minutes ago. If his future son finds out and decides to speedrun a revenge arc to avenge Grandpa, that's a total disaster waiting to happen. Thankfully, our main character has a high IQ to match the handsome face, so he dodged that toxic father-son tragedy. Since the Demon King gig is officially off the table, he's got a new plan. Demirgos decides he wants to be a hero's sidekick. I mean, who would ever suspect the inventory guy is actually the Demon King? The hero can do all the sweating and grinding up front, while Demirgos just chills in the back and loots the rewards. Getting all the XP without doing the work, that's the dream meta. He was totally vibing with this scenario. Despite Alex begging him to reconsider, the duo jacked a carriage and set off to scout for a chosen hero. Alex is stuck driving the horses while Demirgos is lounging in the back, living his best lazy life. Suddenly, Alex asks why they're taking a slow-motion carriage when they can literally fly, which instantly triggers our MC. Bruh, use your brain. We're in incognito mode. You want to dox us to the whole world. Alex, completely done with him, points back at the smoking ruins of the castle. You destroyed an entire kingdom back there. You call that being low-key? Our MC just gaslights him immediately. I didn't see nothing. I didn't do nothing. I'ma take a nap. Alex drops some lore on Demirgos. Heroes have a ranking system. Their power level depends entirely on the RNG of their bloodline. The OG heroes saved the world 60,000 years ago. Since then, their descendants have been hoarding that sacred DNA. The purer the bloodline, the more cracked their abilities are. Plus, they get massive sponsorships from nobles and rich merchants. But if your bloodline is diluted, you're treated like a defective product. Total trash tier, forgotten, and tossed aside. Hearing this, Demirgos realized the hero life isn't all sunshine and rainbows, either. It's not as free as being a Demon King where he makes the rules. Alex just sat there speechless at the irony. Yeah, it's easy to call it freedom when you dump all your responsibilities on your assistant and run off to play human. A bit later they pull up. Alex turns to wake up the sleeping beauty. Yo boss, we're here. From a cliffside view, they look down on a peaceful starter village. It's a small trading hub named Zurich, just outside the PvP zone. Demirgos, still wiping drool off his face, asks about the hero quality in this server. Alex checks the stats. 2 families. One is almost G rank, the other is total garbage tier. Demirgos looks around and sighs. So no G rank carries here, lame. Down on the street, the NPC chatter grabs their attention. Apparently, dragons have been griefing human servers lately, burning castles to the ground left and right. Demirgos was confused. He thought dragons were neutral factions between the demon world and humanity. Why are they aggroing humans for no reason? Alex didn't have a clue either. The last time he visited the surface was 80 years ago. A lot can change in a few patches. Afterward, they hit up a local hotel. The owner flashes a customer service smile. Welcome in. Alex keeps it professional. We'll take the penthouse suite. Our young master has high standards. The owner was polite on the outside, but totally judging them on the inside. Thinking, these tourists don't know the attic costs a fortune. And what's with the fit? Are these guys country bumpkins? Before he could finish roasting them in his head, Alex cracks open a loot chest from the castle. The owner shut up instantly. Money talks. Holy beg staff, get our VIP to their suite stat. A kid bursts out of the supply closet, tripping over his own feet. Whoops, my bad, I'm on it, totally on it. He nervously straightens his hat and bows. Hi there. He puffs out his chest trying to look professional. I'm Jake Pan. Just call me Jake. Let me grab your gear. Right this way. As he hauls the bags, Jake chatters nervously. Sorry about the noise. Everyone's freaking out over the castle news. Can't believe a legendary dragon actually showed up. He looks genuinely stressed, but Alex smirks, keeping his cool. Relax, kid. No need to panic. The Nir-Garan clan runs this town. They're heavy hitters. Oh right, that's a relief. When they reach the top, Jake swings the door open with a flourish. He beams, ushering the guest into the fully decked-out suite. Welcome to your crib. This is the Golden Pavilion's crown jewel, our attic suite. He laughs, clearly hyped as he drops the luggage. Real talk. You're the first high roller I've ever taken care of. Hope it's up to your standards. But I'm gonna grind extra hard to make your stay perfect. Holler if you need anything. Suddenly, Demirgos cuts the vibe. Yo. Huh. A creepy predatory grin spreads across his face as he locks eyes with Jake. You've got the hero's blood in your veins, don't you? Jake doesn't even try to lie. Yeah, guilty. I knew something felt different about you. His scheme to scout a protagonist was already paying off. Demirgos lowers his voice to a whisper. For a blood descendant, your stats are absolute trash. Since you're working a service job, you must be from that washed-up branch family. Out of the 2 hero clans in York, yours is definitely the impure one. He drops a question that catches Jake off guard. What's your purity level? Jake scratches his head, totally embarrassed. F rank. I'm a total defect. Boom. An explosion rocks the hotel. All 3 snap their heads up in shock. A massive fire dragon descends from the sky, spewing magma and torching the neighborhood. Screams erupt from the streets. It's a dragon. Mom, help me. Jake swallows his fear and steps in front of them. You guys need to run. Demirgos points calmly at the inferno. I thought you said dragons were chill. I wasn't sure. Jake starts panicking at the contradiction. Chill out, Jake Pan. Holy beg. Demirgos' eyes flash crimson, that sinister grin returning. I'm gonna be your sponsor. You're gonna be a hero. His gaze shifts from gentle to chaotic instantly. I was headhunting for a main character anyway. This is destiny. Jake listens, paralyzed but listening. Take the deal. I'll give you the clout and the cash you've been dreaming of. I'll wipe away that failure label. He stares deep into the kid's soul. You can live your whole life as a nobody, or you can sign with me and flip the script. Jake's soft eyes harden with internal conflict. This is his one shot. Flashbacks of his starving little siblings hit him hard. Everyone abandoned them. Why bring kids into this world if they're just gonna end up as losers? Failures don't even get to eat. Big bro, where's mom and dad? I'm so hungry. A chance. The memory stings enough to make Jake decide. He drops to his knees and bows deep before Demirgos. Please take me in. I'm just an average guy, but I'll give it 100%. I won't let you down. Jake's face shows pure grit. I'll even sell my soul if that's what it takes. Demirgos looks pleased. Funny, I was about to ask for that. He nods toward the brutal beast incinerating the town outside. Your debut match starts now. Go slay that dragon. Shouldn't I start with like a goblin? Seeing Jake bowing there, he raises a hand and snaps his fingers. Let's make it official. A glowing contract materializes in midair, listing 5 totally rigged conditions. Jake hesitates, realizing he's getting scammed. Demirgos narrows his eyes. Sign it. Once you accept, the deal is sealed. A war rages inside Jake's head, but he locks onto 2 words, fame and fortune. Tears stream down his face. The game is on. He accepts and screams, Jake Pan, holy beg flash. His name burns into the scroll instantly. The pact is forged. Demirgos is still grinning like a maniac. He points at the colossal monster, making Jake jump. This is your big premiere. Go kill it. Say what. Alex jumps in to clarify. Master, humans can't solo a dragon. Demirgos holds up a finger, looking smug. I know. It's all theater. He just has to act like he killed it, and I'll handle the actual heavy lifting. He lays out the script. First, Alex goes out to greet the beast, then drops it right in front of the defect. The defect swings his sword at the falling dragon for the camera. Finale, the crowd goes wild as Jake poses with his foot on the corpse. After hearing the scheme, both of them are stunned. The plan, this defect, is about to become the legendary Dragon Slayer. Alex dissected the plan with cold logic, noting that the optics were bad. People aren't stupid. If an F-rank scrub like Jake suddenly solos a dragon, it's gonna look incredibly sus. Plus, wouldn't being associated with Demirgo put a massive target on your back? Demirgo stayed silent. He just pivoted toward Jake, eyes dripping with judgment. Why are you staring at me like I'm a bug? Jake stammered, reading the room wrong. Rip. Without warning, Demirgo shredded Jake's street clothes. He snatched a massive cooking pot from nearby and jammed it onto Jake's head. A laser beam sizzled, carving 2 eye holes into the metal. Boom, instant mask. The result, Jake looked absolutely unhinged. Tidy whities on display, a kitchen pot for a helmet, and a uniform draped like a cape. Ta-da! The masked hero has logged in. Demirgo puffed out his chest. Real heroes wear capes and stay anonymous. Trust me, nobody's gonna recognize you now. Doesn't this mysterious vibe just scream legend? Alex decided to just roll with Demirgo's chaotic script and began scaling the wall. Fine, I'll go aggro the dragon. Cool, Demirgo replied, instantly pivoting his attention back to his masterpiece. He turned to the mortified Jake. Let's roll. Jake's face burned red as he froze up. Wait. We're seriously going out to fight a boss monster, looking like this. Demirgo scanned the area, sensing the drip wasn't quite complete. Spotting a stray broom handle, he snatched it up and tossed it over. Catch. That's your sword. Jake caught the wood reflexively, but his entire frame shook. The sheer cringe of this outfit was physically painful. Demirgo's vibe shifted instantly to dead serious. Just stand your ground and grip that broom, even when the dragon is breathing down your neck. Do this, and I'll flood you with more clout and cash than you can spend in a lifetime. Jake was sweating buckets, but his gaze hardened into steel. A weird sensation hit him like reality was warping around him. A split second later, raw power surged through his brain. His fist clenched automatically, feeling like he could punch through a concrete wall. Every cell in Jake's body was vibrating, boiling with intensity. Strange light coursed through his veins, as if a dormant heroic gene had just been forcibly activated. The guy standing in front of him was basically a demon king with a wicked grin, but oddly, Jake felt zero fear. Jake's eyes snapped open, glowing with energy as he burst into manic laughter. Seeing that look in your eyes, it actually hypes me up. I feel like I can take anything. Fame and fortune, Jake whispered like a mantra. Demirgo matched the energy, pointing forward like a god of war. Charge my minion, sir. Yes, sir. Meanwhile, outside the fire dragon was on a rampage, turning the village into a living hell. Civilians were screaming, begging for a savior. Help us. The agony was deafening. But the giant beast showed no mercy, spewing napalm-like breath and incinerating everything in its path. The entire village was drowning in a sea of flames. The sky itself bled crimson as the inferno spread uncontrollably. The dragon swooped down, carpeting the area with fire. Suddenly, Alex stepped out from a barrier, perching confidently atop a church cross. He locked eyes with the beast as it rained destruction on the helpless town below. He hated getting his hands dirty, but he had no choice. Alex flung his cloak aside. Dozens of nightmarish, thorny limbs exploded from his back. With terrifying calm, he adjusted his hat and launched himself straight at the monster. In a blur, Alex landed squarely on the dragon's spine. His gentle demeanor evaporated, replaced by savage focus. The thorny appendages reared up and slammed down like hydraulic pistons, punching through the dragon's armored scales. They burrowed deep, snaking their way toward the beast's heart. The magical tendrils coiled tight around the vital organ, but the dragon didn't even flinch. I've literally got your heart in my grip. You should be obeying me. First question, why are you here, I thought. Dragons and humans had a treaty. Alex's poker face cracked. A gross purple sludge started oozing from the dragon's scales, confusing the hell out of him. What is this gunk? This isn't a normal mob, he muttered. The dragon started emitting guttural noises in a language that didn't exist in human records. Alex's expression darkened. How does a lizard like you know that cursed tongue? What exactly are you? The vibe was all wrong. Above, the sky swirled with fire as the dragon thrashed, flying erratically. Down on the ground, Jake stood like a statue. He white-knuckled the broom, staring up with a dazed expression, unable to process the chaos. Murmurs broke out behind him. Yo, what is that? Two kids peeked out from a ruin, eyeing Jake. Who's the weirdo? Why is he just standing there? More villagers noticed Jake, and the scrutiny made him sweat profusely. Is he gonna 1v1 the dragon? Is that a hero? The gossip stung. Jake tried to plug his ears, desperate to block out the cringe. Isn't that outfit kinda kinky? Or is he just a massive pervert? Shame and terror were fighting for dominance in Jake's soul. Suddenly, Demirgo hopped onto a barrel and started the hype train. Go masked hero, save our city. Demirgo's chanting triggered a mob mentality and the crowd began to cheer along. Masked hero, the hero is here. The chants hit Jake like a physical weight. He white-knuckled that broom handle. Yeah, he was terrified and honestly, a little embarrassed. But he didn't budge an inch. This was his golden ticket, his one shot at the big leagues. No way, he was walking away. The mantra replayed in his head on a loop. Clout, cash, glory. High above the dragon was absolutely losing it, thrashing against the clouds. Its tail whipped the air like a lash as it nosedived. A guttural roar ripped through the atmosphere, the sound of a beast totally off the rails. Inside that raging inferno, Alex was running on empty, wrangling this beast. It was feeling less like a fight and more like a suicide mission. Backed into a corner, Alex unleashed everything he had left. His extra limbs shot up in unison. This was it. Hundreds of jagged, thorny appendages slammed into the dragon, digging deep into its scales. Time to end this with a god-tier move. 100 demon hands. The sky turned into a blur of violence as those thorny limbs shredded the dragon, locking onto it like a vice. They even gouged into its eyes, sealing the beast in a cage of flesh. But the monster wouldn't go down. It kept thrashing, spewing magma everywhere. Alex dipped his head face set in stone. No second chances. He drove those spikes deeper, aiming for the vitals. Bullseye right through the heart. The dragon screamed, a horrific sound drowning in the fire. Then Alex froze. The vibe shifted instantly. Violet mold crawled from the dragon's corpse onto Alex's hands, sprouting blinking eyeballs instantly. Alex could only stare in horror as the beast opened its mouth. Brace yourself. With its dying breath, it dropped a cryptic bombshell. You're about to reunite with a ghost from your past. He is back. He is back. The light vanished from its eyes, fading to dull gray. Suddenly, that purple fungus surged upward like a living nightmare. It latched straight onto Alex's face. Even with that alien biomass suffocating him, his instincts were screaming. So, that's the play, Alex mumbled. Meanwhile, down on the ground, Demirgos watched the aerial dogfight and let out a loud, bored sigh. Yo, Alex, what's the holdup? The crowd's getting restless. He yawned, casually digging for gold in his nose. Seriously, are you trying to adopt it? It's just one dragon, bro. Above the dragon let out a warped groan, its roar shifting pitch. It sounded like the fungus was piloting the meat suit now. Its eyes went dead cold, empty static. Alex's spikes were still embedded in the carcass as the whole mess came crashing down, turning the sky into a cascading waterfall of flame. Demirgos pointed at the falling disaster. Jake tracked his finger. Heads up, kid, incoming. Jake choked up on the broom handle, planting his feet. Muscles locked, knuckles white, ready to take a swing. The dragon, still hacking up fireballs, was dropping fast. Jake was terrified, sweating buckets, but his mind was strangely ice cold. He steeled himself. I am not dying today. Demirgos caught that vibe and flashed a grin, so twisted it actually threw Jake off. Demirgos looked supremely confident. Trust me. I promise, no matter how crazy this gets, you survive. Sudden energy ignited in Jake's eyes. Red cells within him surged, pulsing with brilliant light. He squeezed the broom like it was Excalibur, pure resolve, pumping through his veins. I got this. Jake dropped into a combat stance, sweeping the broom upward. Moonlight-style first form. Meanwhile, back in the stratosphere, Alex was wrestling with the parasitic gunk on his face. He was fuming. Losing control wasn't in his playbook. He roared, channeling ocular power to incinerate the cellular mask. But his arms had gone rogue. Eyeballs sprouted in his palms before dissolving into mounds of purple mold. The fungus hijacked his limbs, turning them against him. Alex clenched his jaw, fighting through the searing pain. His free arms grappled with the infected ones. Even in the chaos, his brain was calculating. Okay, this is a slight problem. A dangerous light flickered in his eyes. He had to neutralize this freak show. Both Alex and the fungal abomination were hurtling toward the village. He triggered his blood demon art again. 100 demon hands stretching his limbs to the limit. Surging with maximum output, he ripped the eye-covered slime off his body and hurled it away. His main hand clawed at the fungal layer cementing his face. He yanked with everything he had, but it was glued on tight. Demirgos, totally clueless about the crisis, just sat there, chilling. Alex screamed in agony, but he wasn't about to bow down to some gloried mold. The dragon was a meteor now seconds from impact. Villagers were screaming from their windows, frantically warning Jake. Incoming dragon, everybody bail. Jake faced the falling titan, hands shaking as the chorus of screams reached a fever pitch. Mom, get to the hallway. Move. Finally, Demirgos clocked that something was off. He shot a worried look up at Alex. Yo, Alex, what's the play here? Ease off the gas. He was genuinely baffled by Alex's erratic moves up there. Alex was still at war with that parasitic gunk. Down below, Jake locked in. He was ready to dance with the dragon. Adrenaline surged into his hands. Clarity flooded his brain. Doesn't matter what happens next. I am holding this line. The promise echoed in his soul. Suddenly, he was back in that golden sunset training with his dad and a rusted blade. Listen, son, his dad had said, smiling softly. The moonlight style is our family's legacy. Master it. One day, the Demon King's legions might return, and you'll need to be ready. Jake turned to his dad, eyes full of pain. The village haters keep saying I'll never make the cut as a demon slayer, that our family is washed up. But they're lying, right, Dad? His father voice soft but steady hit him with the truth. Let him talk trash. Our holy big clan has the DNA of legends coursing through our veins. I know you're going to be a hero who slays demons left and right. Even on his deathbed, the old man was hyping his son up, trying to pass the torch. Just keep grinding, son. Jake's face lit up like a sunrise. You got it, Dad. Cut to now, Jake was staring death in the face. He grit his teeth, putting every ounce of strength into swinging that broom. And suddenly, boom, it glowed with eerie power. Moonlight first form. At that exact second, Alex ripped that gross cell layer off his face, while the Miargos locked in. He unleashed his eye's destruction ability to control the target. From the village down below, a laser beam shot up, blasting straight at the dragon. Jake saw his window and went full send, unleashing a slash fueled by pure adrenaline. His broom connected with the dragon's hide, blowing a chunk of it to smithereens. The beast went down, taking everything with it in a massive crash. Walls collapsed under the sheer tonnage. Jake squeezed his eyes shut, bracing for the end. When the dust settled, he peeked one eye open, shook to find he was actually still breathing. Then the cringe hit him hard. He spun around, totally confused. He couldn't process the sight. A colossal dragon corpse lay right behind him, and he was standing ankle-deep in a pool of its blood. The crowd went wild. It's the hero villagers who were hiding like NPCs came flooding out screaming. Our savior, what a Chad, sent by the gods themselves. Long live the legend. Jake felt the room spinning, totally overwhelmed. The Miargos chilling behind him coughed loudly to snap him out of it. He whispered a pro tip. Hey masked hero, maybe swap the fit and dip before they swarm you. Jake panicked, turning beet red. He scrambled out of there like a scared rabbit, vanishing into the shadows. Alex, who clocked the whole situation, watched from his crucifix perch. His face, which was half wrecked, was stitching itself back together. He surveyed the chaos below, sensing something super sus. The dragon's head remained stone dead. But what had Alex stressing was that weird purple fungus. The dragon's body was incinerating itself in its own flames. The guy everyone thought was gone, he's back in the game. Next morning, the weather was immaculate. The Miargos woke up, stretching and vibing with the fresh air. Best sleep ever, he mused. Alex slid a steaming cup onto the table, asking politely, "You up? Get some caffeine in you." The Miargos froze, caught off guard, which cracked Alex up. Rumor has it humans can't function without their morning brew, Alex teased. The Miargos made a surprised noise. Suddenly, someone barged in. "Serpatia, we got drama." Hearing the name Serpatia made the Miargos snap his head around. Jake rushed in, absolutely buzzing. The whole town is hunting for the masked hero. They want to crown him the village MVP. The Miargos eyed Jake's messy look and had to ask, "What's up with the outfit, kid?" Jake rubbed the back of his neck, grinning awkwardly. "The village got wrecked after yesterday's boss fight, so I've been helping the locals clean up debris. The cash flow for manual labor isn't bad." The Miargos sipped his coffee elegantly and said with zero stress, "It's cool. Everything is going exactly to plan." A sunbeam cut through the room, blinding him for a second. Squinting at the light, the Miargos couldn't help but drop a line. "Waking up to sunshine and premium coffee, mortal life kinda slaps, doesn't it? Even if the room was totally trashed." From the dragon's rampage last night, Alex kept his butler persona flawless and announced, "That coffee is brewed from dragon tongue and left liver. Glad it hits the spot." Outside, people were hauling rubble, yelling, "Pick up the pace. I need a hand over here. Oh God, my house is gone. Mom, where you at?" Somewhere in the chaos, people were trying to bounce back. "Why is this rock so heavy? Quit whining and lift unless you want to work the night shift." Almost there. A woman passed out bread, yelling, "Fuel up, then back to the grind." "Thanks." Another guy was loading rocks, shouting, "Coming through, move it." An old-timer set down a heavy stone and cheered Jake on. "Let's go, Jake. We got a mountain to move." Jake, hauling a massive rock on his shoulder like it was nothing, replied with golden retriever energy, "You got it." The Miargos watched the hustle and bustle, murmuring to himself, "They're seriously staying in this wrecked server of a village." He rested his chin on his palm, telling Alex that failure is really putting in the work. Alex, standing by his side, just nodded. Affirmative. Then Alex dropped the lore on the Miargos. "I chatted him up yesterday. Kid's been grinding since day one because his fam is broke. Laundry scrubbing floors, plumbing digging graves. If it pays, he's done it. He even bartended for a bit." This info sent the Miargos into deep calculation mode. After a heavy silence, he finally spoke up. "All right, it's decided." Alex whipped his head around, totally confused. Demirgos drawled, "We found our protagonist. Besides, traveling is a drag. We're setting up base camp right here. It's a dump, but it's kinda growing on me." He grinned like a maniac. "This is where the legend begins." Alex froze, his jaw dropping at the bizarre scene. The Demon King was already on his feet, humming a happy tune and strutting away. "Shall we roll?" "Jake can handle the grunt work." Alex, head spinning, stammered. "Roll? Where exactly?" Demirgos was practically glowing with vibes. "To pawn that dragon skin, obviously. That loot is top-tier pricey, right? Prime crafting material. We're aiming for the top 2% lifestyle." Alex pointed nervously at the sky. The Hero Bureau jacked everything last night," Demirgos roared, shaking the air. "Excuse me," Alex panicked, "because civilians can't lift a dragon carcass." Demirgos trembled with pure rage. "Then why did we even bother killing it?" He pointed a finger forward. "Move out." Alex was shaking now too. "Okay, where are we going?" Demirgos' eyes went pitch black, his voice dropping to a demonic growl. "To massacre every suit at the Hero Bureau." Alex frantically blocked his path. "Hold up, boss." Internally, he was screaming. "We are so dead. That's Hero HQ. Even with his power soloing, the whole guild is suicide. And if they ID him, if word gets out the Demon King is missing, it's game over." Alex pasted on a fake smile. "Master, didn't you want to play sidekick to the heroes?" So Alex talked fast. "In the human realm, you gotta be registered with the Bureau to be a legit hero. If you wipe them out, nobody validates Jake's status." Demirgos stopped dead, his brain buffering. He spun around, stroking his chin. For real, Alex was sweating buckets behind him. Did I just save our entire race from an extinction event? A light bulb went off in Demirgos' head. "Then we pivot." Alex blinked. "Pivot." Demirgos flashed a wicked grin, tongue lolling out. "I'll recoup our losses in the next kingdom over." Alex couldn't believe this guy. "So much for the Reformed Act, huh? We ride at dawn. Or we could just go underground, cut to a flower field," Alex's voice ringing out. "Lord Demirgos." Silence. "Lord Demirgos." Still nothing. Alex snapped, screaming at the top of his lungs. "Lord Demirgos." Demiurgos flinched. What? Alex huffed. You've had your little vacation in the mortal realm. Time to head back to the underworld. Everyone is waiting. Your destiny clock strikes in 20 years. We can't slack off. You need to master the dark arts and conquer the globe, remember? Demiurgos flopped onto a haystack looking totally over it. Not my problem. Why do I have to dance to your tune? Alex shot back. It's protocol. After 165 kings before you, it's just basic common sense. Demiurgos soaked in the breeze. If destiny was set in stone, who needs gods? I'm just here for the experience points. Get over it. The Demon King is on break. Alex pivoted instantly to plan B. Then please get hitched. We need the 666th heir. Literally anyone will do. Demiurgos sat up. Huh. Anyone. The audacity. You're a true demon, all right. Beat it. Alex stood his ground. Well, no heir, no peace. I'm sticking to you like glue. Demiurgos closed his eyes, a chill smile forming. Fine. Stay here and be my butler for eternity. Alex pushed his luck. So about finding you, a wifey. Someone your vibe, Demiurgos snapped. Mention marriage again and I nuke the underworld myself. Defeated, Alex shut his mouth and focused on driving the cart. Suddenly, Demiurgos broke the silence. But, is it doable? Alex frowned. Is what doable? Demiurgos turned bright red. He mumbled shyly about the princess from before. Alex blanked. Which princess? The king's face went crimson. He refused to make eye contact. You know, her. Alex was totally lost. Her who? Are you dense? Demiurgos lost it, flailing his arms like a toddler. Can a human and a demon make a baby? That's what I'm asking, Alex gasped. Oh, totally. Demiurgos leaned in, intrigued. Alex launched into a biology lecture. The mechanics are identical. It's basic biology. Male connects with female cells, merge, boom embryo. Bakes in the oven for 37 to 42 weeks. Demiurgos zoned out immediately. Bored, he silenced Alex with a hand wave. Alex's vibe shifted. Of course you could just transfer your essence directly. Transmigrated into a new vessel, and it's a biological nightmare. Procreation isn't just possible, it's practically guaranteed. Even a deep kiss, that is a 50% pregnancy rate. A quick peck, 25%. As these stats hit his ears, the Demiurgos froze, shell-shocked. Come again, a simple smooch triggers conception. Alex smirked, raising a finger with a devilish glint. Merely locking hands can seal the deal. Instantly, Demiurgos' body went limp and sprawled out, leaving him mentally scrambling. What the hell is this reflex? Is this the demon DNA kicking in? That was way too close. It feels like this entire physique was engineered solely to breed. Damn it, this vessel's existence is dedicated to slaughter and spawning heirs. The more I learn, the more I loathe it. Alex gazed solemnly at his master. This form is a divine blessing. You are the Messiah, the final hope for our demon realm. The gods crafted this masterpiece just for you. Demiurgos scoffed, snapping back. Blessed my foot. I am just another demon popping up every 100 years. He tilted his head to the sky, groaning. I am really not vibing with this whole chosen one destiny. Who asked for my input? Suddenly, a shrill scream pierced the air, snapping both Alex and Demiurgos to attention. A girl was sprinting toward them, a dust cloud trailing her as a mob gave chase. The pursuers looked savage, mounted on horseback, with twisted predatory grins. Move it. Bag her. The girl was running on fumes, mascara running down her cheeks. Screaming for salvation. Help, bandits are on my tail. Watching the scene unfold, Alex nudged Demiurgos. A maiden in peril. We have to intervene. Demiurgos raised an eyebrow, unimpressed. Why bother? Who knows? It could work out for us. Don't you think the timing is a little suspect? Alex blinked. What do you mean? Demiurgos broke it down with cold logic. She just happens to sprint our way, begging for a hero. The damsel in distress is the oldest cliché in the fantasy playbook. What is the catch? Demiurgos continued scanning the horizon. There is zero civilization nearby. So where did they spawn from, even if they camped in the woods that is miles away? The vibe shifted, becoming heavy with tension. Demiurgos cut straight to the chase. More importantly, you think those guys missed us while hunting her. Neither of us clocked them. He shot Alex a side-eye full of doubt. You scripted this, didn't you? Casting this girl to force me into making an heir. Alex whipped around, looking insulted. Who do you think I am? I am Alex, the demon world's supreme tactician. I would never stoop to a plot that basic. The fleeing girl crashed into their carriage, startling Demiurgos out of his thoughts. She clawed at the wood, staring up at him with puppy dog eyes. Please, Sir Knight, these bandits are going to kill me. You have to save me. Demiurgos stared down deadpan. I am not a knight. I am a hero supporter. The girl paused, buffering, but instantly rebooted the waterworks. Mr. Supporter, please. They are going to kidnap me. Demiurgos leaned back, resting his chin on his palm, radiating zero interest in playing the hero. Look, we are an elite squad. We only grind dragon-level bosses. We don't do fetch quests. The girl dipped her head, muttering a curse. Why are you being such a diva? Demiurgos' ears pricked up. He jumped to his feet, finger in her face. Did you just cuss at me? The girl feigned innocence. What? No, I was just pleading for my life. Suddenly, a battle axe whistled through the air and slammed into the barrel right beside Demiurgos. He whipped his head around, eyes locking onto the weapon that had just violated his ride, his face a mask of disbelief. A rough voice shattered the silence. "Hey, brat." The gang of rugged bandits thundered closer on their mounts. They cackled, throwing insults. "Check out the pale kid. Drop your loot and scramble if you want to live. And what is that fit? Are you a time traveler or something?" Demiurgos glanced at the thugs, his lip curling in disgust. "You damaged my limited edition luggage, you people." His voice dropped to a growl. "Enjoy burning for eternity." The second the curse left his lips, the bandit leader ignited into a pillar of purple hellfire. The gruesome display shocked the girl into silence. The bandits who were flexing just seconds ago froze in terror, watching their boss writhe in the dirt, shrieking, "It burns. Put me out." As the minions prepared to rush in with water, Demiurgos' voice stopped them cold. Sweat broke out on their foreheads. "Do not bother. No matter who you pray to or what magic you spam, that flame is permanent. You cannot die to escape it either. You will just roast like that until the universe ends." "Any other volunteers for the barbecue?" The bandits panicked, whipping their horses around to flee. "Sorry. Please don't kill us. It's a demon. Run away." As the dust settled, the girl couldn't suppress a smirk. Demiurgos caught it, annoyed, and shooed her away. "Done. Beat it." The girl panicked and blocked his path. "Wait, Sir Supporter. Those savages also raided our temple. They enslaved the nuns and looted the holy relics. Please eliminate the threats and save the holy sanctuary." At her desperate cry, Demiurgos just dug for gold in his nose, totally unbothered. "Nah, hard pass. I don't do low-level fetch quests." Furious, the girl gripped the carriage frame, crushing the solid steel like a soda can. Crunch. Demiurgos, losing patience, snapped at his ride. "Let's bounce, Alex. On it, boss." But just as they turned to leave, the girl cut off their escape route. "Hold up." Panic dripped from her brow as she tried to stall them. "You asked about a dragon earlier, right? You gotta be with that masked hero guy. Listen, the temple those bandits raided, it belongs to the dragon god, the true supreme golden dragon. Kick them out and we'll drop the legendary loot, the golden dragon's helm and armor." Demiurgos froze. The gear turning in his head was audible. His eyes lit up with greed. "Well, why are you just standing there?" Cut to the mountain trail. Heavy boots stomped against stone, mixed with the sound of dying lungs. "Master." Alex wheezed, barely holding on. Demiurgos, surfing comfortably on Alex's back, asked with zero empathy, "What now?" Alex, drowning in sweat, gasped, "Can't we just fly? Get real." "I'm not the Demon King," remember, Alex wailed in pure despair. "Then at least walk with your own legs." My spine is about to snap. The tragic banter of master and mount bounced off the canyon walls. "Hey, I have a reputation to uphold here," Alex shot back. "I thought you said you weren't the king." Alex was sweating buckets, eyes narrowing with suspicion. And honestly, the vibes were off. He looked up at the girl. She was sprinting uphill like a machine, not a single drop of sweat. Alex's brain started doing the math. She's been running for 30 minutes, straight up a vertical cliff. No normal human has that kind of stamina while humming a catchy pop song. Before Alex could voice his conspiracy theory, Demiurgos, still lounging on his back with hands in pockets, cut him off. "Doesn't matter who she is. I don't care what her angle is, but if she's scamming us, I'll peel her like a banana." Demiurgos paused, his gaze locking onto the girl's back. "But a true golden dragon god. Do dragons actually worship deities?" Alex frowned, struggling for air. "No, it's different. Like how you're worshipped back home. The true golden dragon is the alpha, the apex predator, standing above all other winged lizards. Us dragons, the humans, basically everyone. We all answer to one big boss, the creator god who spawned this server." Hearing the lore drop, Demiurgos stared at the sky, silent. The sun blazed down on them. Finally, he broke the silence. "So the gods have a bias for humans, how demons and dragons are just side characters." Alex immediately panicked. "Don't diss the gods. They are absolute truth, pure love. If we conquer heaven where their light shines, we get the buffs." Demiurgos went quiet, eyes drifting into deep thought before scoffing, "Toxic way to show love." But Alex kept climbing like a good soldier. Cresting the peak, he cheered, "We made it," and immediately face-planted. Demiurgos stepped casually onto Alex's head. "Pathetic. You need cardio." Poor Alex, now a literal doormat, let out a muffled sob into the dirt. Demiurgos ignored him, eyes fixed forward. An ancient, majestic temple loomed ahead. Demiurgos strolled in like he owned the place, tossing a command over his shoulder at Alex, who was still eating dust. "You're carrying me on the way down too." They pushed the heavy stone doors. "Yo, Priestess." Demiurgos scanned the interior, hungry for loot. "Where are the bandits with my legendary armor set? Come out and play master, watch out, bad vibes detected." And Alex was spot on. Boom. The stone doors slammed shut behind them. Total darkness. Then two glowing red eyes pierced the gloom. The blonde girl was floating in midair, staring down at them with terrifying pressure. "Rough hike. Your pet seems smarter than you." Demiurgos didn't flinch, that easy smile glued to his face. "You look exactly like the bandit who stole this place." Where's my gear? The girl ascended higher, looking down on them like ants. The audacity. Can't you read the room, Neil? You stand before the dragon god, ruler of the skies, mother of scales, the one and only true golden dragon. As the title dropped, Demiurgos went from chill to shook, jaw hitting the floor, eyes popping out, Alex cowering behind him. Lost his mind. The dragon god, it's the real deal. Boss, we are so dead, the dragon god cackled, echoing through the hall. Surprised, is this beyond your tiny mortal brains? You fools. Her eyes danced with sadistic glee. If you're scared, beg. I'm generous. Demiurgos rubbed his chin, the gears turning again. A dragon god, huh? Intriguing. Catching his vibe, she puffed up with arrogance. So you finally get it. To pay for your sins. I command you, why are you hopping around like a bunny? Demiurgos cut her off, looking utterly unimpressed. Mother of dragons, the dragon monarch. Gotta admit, the branding is immaculate. He swiveled toward Alex, a mischievous grin playing on his lips. My intro feels weak in comparison. Lord of Darkness, top 2% of elite males. It lacks that cinematic punch. What's your take, Alex? The subordinate nodded aggressively, eyes sparkling with fanboy intensity. You're perfect as is, Master the Dragon. God has nothing on you. Sidelined and completely ignored, the dragon woman vibrated with rage. She jabbed a trembling finger at the duo, looking ready to explode. Her voice cracked with fury. Hey, quit the comedy routine. You two should be on your knees begging for mercy right now. Begging, for what? Demiurge blinked, feigning total innocence. He tapped his chin theatrically. I don't recall beefing with you. That snapped the dragon god's patience. You deleted a dragon yesterday. That was my kin. I am the mother of all dragons. You took out my child. Demiurge just let out a dismissive scoff. Wow, dramatic much. You're getting this worked up over one lizard. Suddenly, the true golden dragon levitated, defying gravity with zero effort. She swooped in, hovering inches from Demiurge's nose. He didn't even flinch, maintaining that confident smirk. She stared into his soul and roared. Just then perish. Boom. A wall of infernal flames erupted, boxing them in. Her voice boomed. Welcome to the Golden Jade Domain. Even a demiurge stands zero chance on my turf. Alex stared at the blazing barrier, his jaw hitting the floor. The Golden Jade Domain. Holy smokes. This is her absolute territory. All her stats are buffed here. We're in the danger zone. The true golden dragon smirked, radiating arrogance. Your minion knows the score. Surrender now. Number 666. Suddenly, Demiurge dropped a line that left her stunned. You checked my ID, know exactly who I am, and you still want this smoke. If you really are the true golden dragon, your hide must be legendary. Get ready. I'm making a new pair of boots out of you. A spark of defiance lit up her eyes. You wish Demiurge raised a single finger, pressing it against her lips to silence her. Shh. Before the violence, don't you want to apologize for letting me down? Visible confusion marks appeared over the true golden dragon's head. What the actual heck are you talking about? Demiurge immediately played the victim card. Look, I didn't come topside to start a war. I just wanted to vibe in the village and befriend the hero. But then your spawn shows up, spitting fire and wrecking the real estate. What was I supposed to do? It was pure self-defense. Where were you when Junior was rampaging? Nowhere. But now you lure us into a trap for revenge. You catfished us pretending to be a sorceress, then flex that you're a god. And you expect me to say sorry. You think I'm gonna kneel and say, my bad. You think a fancy title lets you bully people. Is this just how dragons roll? Alex stepped up, backing his master completely. He's spitting facts. Just because you're powerful doesn't mean you're right. You assume anyone fighting back is the villain. That's toxic logic. Besides, the dragon race ignored the peace treaty with humanity first. You guys broke the contract. You're the one who should be begging for forgiveness. Demiurge sighed heavily, locking eyes with her. Alright, let's settle this. As the dragon god, are you gonna apologize to Rosie Village for the chaos your kid caused? Her stunned silence made Demiurge shake his head. Wow, like mother, like son. Alex doubled down. You might not be the biomom, but are you really dodging accountability? That's weak. You refuse to take charge and just blame the victims. The true golden dragon, cornered by their logic, screamed in frustration. Have you no shame? Just because a kid goes bad doesn't mean the parents are trash. Don't you get that? You see parents who are clueless ignoring their kids, but when the kid acts up, they swear he's an angel at home. It's those people who give parents a bad name, but we can't ignore this. You're the CEO of the dragon race, the big boss. You have to apologize for the treaty violation. Because of a delinquent employee, the boss has to take the heat and resign, right? Demiurge and Alex tag-teamed the verbal beatdown until her ears turned beet red. She scratched her head, stammering. Wait, is it really that deep? Why do I feel like I'm the bad guy here? Demiurge seized the moment, spinning on his heel to leave. Because you are. Now drop the barrier so we can leave. Wait a sec, the true golden dragon panicked. Since you're already here, can you hear my request? Demiurge hit her with a side-eye. A request, apology first. The true golden dragon turned purple with indignation, unable to speak. Demiurge waved a hand dismissively. If you can't do it, forget it. Saying sorry is free, you know. Watching him walk away, she broke. Wait, stop. Demiurge's eyes flashed with victory. She hesitated, biting her lip. Ugh. I'm sorry, okay? Suddenly, Demiurge reached out and patted the ferocious dragon god on the head like a puppy. Leaving her totally baffled, Demiurgos let out a dark chuckle. Playing the saint, huh? My old man hated that act too. But hey, since you actually apologized, I'll take it. The true golden dragon visibly flinched, sweat beading on her forehead. She muttered under her breath, weirdo. But I'll let it slide. I'm feeling generous today. Satisfied with dragging her pride through the mud, Demiurgos flashed a winning smile. So what's the ask, dragon god? The golden dragon's expression darkened. She dropped the riddles, her voice grave. Dragon hunting. The silence that followed was deafening. Demiurgos scoffed, eyeing her with total disdain. Let me get this straight. The golden dragon, the literal mother of the species, is asking me, the demon king, to hunt her own kids. Do I look like an idiot? This screams trap. You've officially lost your marbles. You thick-skulled lizard, Alex cut in, stepping forward. It's the purple parasites, isn't it? Alex's mind flashed back to the fight that dragon had been infested. Some kind of parasite was driving them insane. The true golden dragon didn't bother denying it. Exactly. Something is rotting us from the inside. The hardliners are rejecting the peace treaty. The dragon you fought yesterday, just another victim. Her gaze drifted off, staring into a painful memory. She continued, voice heavy. The hardliners. They're dragons, who've lost everything to humans. Wives, children slaughtered. It's tragedy, yes, but grief has blinded them with rage. Now, they're attacking villages, infecting the young peace lovers with a strange, dark magic. I've never seen power like this. They're trying to reignite the war between our kinds. She locked eyes with them, pleading. You have to stop them. Catch them before more innocent hatchlings die as tools for someone else's war. Demiurgos' grin turned predatory. I pick up what you're putting down. You call it a rescue. I call it a hunt. But the catch is, these hardliners are brainwashing the good dragons, turning them into berserkers against humans. And you want me to bag them before the humans retaliate and kill them, right? The dragon god remained silent, confirming his theory. Demiurgos didn't miss a beat. So what's the payout? His eyes went cold, calculating. Even with a smile on his face, he was all business. Where's my service fee? You don't get the Demon King for free. The dragon frowned. She looked at him like he was dirt. You, what do you want? Demiurgos instantly held up his hand, splaying 5 fingers. 5 dragon scales. Everyone knows the god-tier gear is made from dragon parts. For every dragon I bag, I take 5 scales off their hide. We good. Oh, and I'll need weapons and armor worth at least 100 gold pieces. Custom refined by the dragon clan, obviously. Deal. The mother of dragons paused, processing the extortion, then broke into a cold sweat. What are you? A scam artist. Demiurgos snapped his fingers. Call me what you want. Instantly, a glowing magical contract materialized in the air. The terms are simple. I capture and punish the rowdy dragons terrorizing human cities. Then I drag them back to you. The price tag is 5 scales and 100 gold worth of gear, per dragon. Payment due the morning after delivery. Breach the contract and you become my personal slave. Demiurgos smirked his eyes, daring her to refuse. Just say your name and the pact is sealed. You're dealing with a demon now. Don't take this lightly. You're literally betting your soul. The true golden dragon threw her head back and roared with laughter. Her voice boomed with resolve. I know the stakes. Then she shouted, Dragon God, Golden Dragon. On command, the contract exploded into purple smoke. The pact was binding. The deal was done. Demiurgos beamed, looking the dragon god dead in the eye. Pleasure doing business. He spun around, signaling Alex. Let's roll. Open the door. We'll wrap this up in a few days. Suddenly, the dragon called out. Demon Demiurgos paused, glancing back over his shoulder. The golden dragon's eyes were desperate. Bring them back alive. Please. No more death. Demiurgos gave her a polite, almost formal nod. Yes, ma'am. A second later, they were back in the human realm. Alex trailed behind, looking confused. That didn't exactly go to plan, did it? Nope, Demiurgos replied. Then he froze. His eyes went wide. Wait. Ah, crap. He spun on his heels, sprinting back toward the temple, screaming, Dragon God, wait. But the temple doors slammed shut, sealing tight right in his face. Reality hit him. Demiurgos roared at the sky. She never gave me the true golden dragon helmet. Alex wiped sweat from his brow. We're not dragons, boss. We can't re-enter the golden jade realm. Demiurgos slumped. That lizard hustled me again. Demiurgos' roar shattered the mountain silence. One day I am going to rip that face right off your skull. Then inside the abandoned castle, the vibe flipped instantly. The scream faded into a dead calm. Demiurgos, the merchant of death, clasped his hands together and grinned like a shy schoolboy. Yup, that's the ticket. Alex stared at him, face twisted in total confusion. Why, beside them, Jake just blinked, looking completely lost in the sauce. He had zero clue what was going on. Alex snapped. He grabbed Demiurgos by the collar, screaming, Why are we back on the weapon grind? You ditched everyone to come to the human realm just to peddle cheap swords. You abandoned the crew for this. Demiurgos didn't flinch. He got right in Alex's face, clapping back instantly. Yo, wake up. When humans hunt dragons, they need steel. Don't you feel the market calling? This is strictly business, baby. You absolute meathead. Cornering the dragon scale market is the golden ticket the golden dragon handed me. Do you have any idea how much bank I'm gonna make? I knew it. Actually, scratch that. I'm already in the top 2% of earners. She said if I hunt dragons. She supplies the gear. That is literally free inventory, pure profit. The more he spoke, the more unhinged he got. Demirgos was practically salivating, eyes wild with greed. Every 100 years, war pops off like clockwork. Arms dealing is the ultimate recession-proof hustle. It literally cannot fail. Jake scratched his head thinking, catching dragons is free stuff. Is this guy for real? Demirgos whipped around, glaring at Alex. Seriously, moron, do you still not know who you're dealing with? A nasty, calculating glint sharpened Demirgos' gaze. A villainous grin stretched across his face. This shop, it's just seed money for the real endgame. I ain't planning to play shopkeeper forever. Remember the code. 1. Lurks in the shadows, while the other controls the world's arsenal. That hit the spot. Alex lit up, looking at Demirgos with pure, unadulterated worship. I knew it. You're playing 4D chess you haven't forgotten about. Hell, Demirgos snapped his fingers, barking an order. Right. Now take that failure and scout us a prime location. Chop chop, Alex didn't waste a second. He snatched up Jake and hauled him away. The duo leaped from the castle, vanishing into the scenery. Demirgos watched them go, finally dropping the act. Why am I hustling like this? The ultimate goal, obviously, is real estate. I'm gonna be the supreme landlord of the sickest building in this entire fantasy world. Thank God Alex is a gullible idiot. Moments later, Demirgos was chilling on a bed, swinging his legs and grinning like a Cheshire cat. He drifted into deep thought. Outside, high noon blasted the earth with blinding sunlight. Demirgos lay still, gazing up at the blue with a soft smile. His mind rewound to day one with Jake. Sorry, I'm purely F-rank trash. A total bust. Then the memory of them clashing with that dragon played out like a slow-motion highlight reel. Every frame was vivid. He recalled the golden dragon's desperate plea. Capture them alive. No more blood. Replaying the tapes, Demirgos smiled, eyes fluttering shut. Sunlight baked the roof of the crummy old hideout. Demirgos mused. Stable income secured. And the foolish hero is saved. I should just kick back and get rich. So why do I feel so hollow? Blood carnage. If I slaughtered this entire town, would that scratch the itch? Suddenly, in his mind, Jake's image warped. A deep sludge-like voice hissed in his ear. Wipe them all out. The temperature in the room plummeted, freezing the air. Demirgos looked around, rattled. The voice persisted. Destroy this world. Visions of the old demon army flooded his brain. Enslave them. Turn Earth into hell. Only total destruction ends the cycle of life and death. Deep underground, where the sun fears to tread. Every century, the same story. Demirgos stood stone, still staring into the void. Then he snapped his eyes shut and iced the voice out. Shut up. Vanish. Time skipped. Evening rolled in, painting the sky in blood-red hues. Footsteps crunched on gravel. Found it, a voice announced. New weapon shop. Previous owner got toasted during the dragon invasion, so I snagged it for pennies on the dollar. Demirgos stretched, letting out a massive yawn. Not too shabby. That was fast. I barely caught a wink of sleep. Alex rubbed his face, grinning sheepishly. Once you dropped the real plan, I was too hyped to sit still. Let's grind for the vision, boss. Alex sized up the storefront, running the numbers. If we get Jake on the tools, we can turn this dump into a gold mine. Can Jake actually swing a hammer? Demirgos nodded. Yup, kid used to be a carpenter. Alex raised an eyebrow. For real. That's mad skill for his age. He's built different. But wait, isn't bloodline rank? Strictly hereditary. Like, can two pure-blooded elites really pop out an F-rank kid? Exactly, Alex admitted. And flip side, sometimes an F-rank, nobody, and a saint produce the ultimate champion. It's total RNG. Demirgos pressed on. So is there hope for the so-called failures? Just because the family tree is F-rank, the kid gets slapped with the label. Alex shook his head. It's complicated. Talent isn't genetic, but cash sure is. If your fam is loaded with top-tier warriors, you're basically set for life like royalty. With that kind of bankroll, they can literally buy their kids a better hero rank or upgrade their bloodline. Pay to win at its finest. Demirgos cocked his head back, staring at the ceiling. So basically, even a total scrub, F-ranker has a shot at the big leagues if the price is right. Alex nodded grimly. Bingo. But since Jake labels himself F-rank, he's probably already LARPing as a hero in his own head. Demirgos snapped. He roared. These pathetic humans literally buy their valor. He was fuming. Why the hell do we demons keep taking L's to trash like that? It's humiliating. Why, you little? He muttered a quick, my bad, and released Alex, but his face was still burning red with rage. Whatever. Drop it. The demon realm is history anyway. Where's our so-called hero? Alex shrugged. Around. Just then. Bam. A steaming bowl of noodles hit the table. And there was Jake, flashing a megawatt smile from behind a street stall. He paused mid-chop, face smudged with soot but eyes crinkling with joy. Master, you're up. Demirgos looked baffled. Why is this guy flinging noodles? Jake rubbed his neck shyly. I got free time at night. Figured I'd hustle a bit. The tips are actually pretty solid. Demirgos slid onto a stool, right at the counter. One bowl. Now. You got it, boss. Jake went full master chef. Chopping scallions, slicing meat, and ladling broth with insane speed. Within seconds, a masterpiece. Landed in front of Demirgos. Order up, sir. The aroma hit Demirgos like a truck, making his mouth water instantly. This is noodles. He took a slurp. The flavor exploded in his throat. Demirgos froze. His expression melted into pure bliss. This is insane, like actually god tier. Alex watched skeptical. For real, let me get a bite. The second the broth hit his tongue, Alex's eyes popped open. He screamed, holy crap, Jake, forget saving the world, you need to open a restaurant right now. I'll take that as a 5-star review. Jake beamed, watching them wolf it down his chest, swelling with pride. He looked genuinely touched. Demirgos paused mid-chew when Jake's tone got serious. Master, thank you. Seriously, that cash you gave me, I finally bought uniforms. For my little brothers at Warrior Prep. They were the only kids without gear. Broke my heart. They acted cool about it, but when they saw the new stuff, they lit up. Demirgos grunted, Warrior Prep. Yeah, sounds fancy, I know. It's a private elementary academy. I'm weak, but they've got potential. I believe they can become real legends, so I'm pouring every cent I have into their future. The moment was shattered by a scream. What is this trash? There's a fly in my soup. Crash. A man smashed his bowl onto the pavement. I knew eating at this dump was a mistake. I was just starving. But look at this filth, I told you. I didn't want to eat at a grimy hole like this. Jake rushed over, panic rising in his voice. Sir, I swear we keep this place spotless. Before he could finish, the guy hurled the leftovers right at him. Jake barely blocked his face. Demirgos sat stone still, watching the scene with eyes narrowing into icy slits. The jerk puffed up, shouting, What, calling me a liar? Do you know who my dad is? One call, and I shut this garbage heap down. Suddenly he squinted at Jake. Wait a second. Aren't you from the Holy Big Clan? The woman next to him scoffed. You mean the Holy Bitch family? I thought they went extinct. We still dealing with the Holy Bitch losers. The crowd started murmuring. Whoa, the Holy Bitch Clan, a hero flipping burgers. That's just sad. Jake looked down, whispering, It's Holy Big, not bitch. The man cackled louder. I know that loser family. Your dad came crawling to my house begging for a job. And now look at you, peddling slop on the street. Disgusting. Like father, like son. And you call yourself a hero. The Noodle Knight. Give me a break. Thwack. Demirgos slammed his chopsticks down, sending a shockwave that made the crowd jump. He turned, slowly, voice absolute zero. I think I hear an annoying fly buzzing over here. The bully bristled. Excuse me, did you just call me a fly? You got a death wish, pal. Demirgo didn't waste another breath. He just lifted a hand into the air. The other two stood frozen brains, lagging as they tried to process the sudden vibe shift. His fingers snapped into a tight fist gaze, turning icy enough to freeze hell over. All right then, time to swat some pests. Before the words even landed, the guy was deleted from existence, silenced instantly. Jake stood there, jaw on the floor, paralyzed by the sheer brutality. Panic seized the woman next to him. She let out a blood-curdling scream, hiked up her dress, and bolted, sobbing like a total mess as she ran for her life. But Demirgo wasn't the forgive and forget type. He raised his palm again, summoning a swirling vortex of dark energy right there in his hand. An invisible force dragged her straight into the void. Demirgo closed his fingers with a gentle, deliberate squeeze. For a split second, a few stray hairs fluttered from the gap, and then poof, gone. Folks who spit on heroes, on the ones bleeding to keep them safe. They don't get to breathe the same air as us, Demirgo stated, voice cold as steel. Alex stood like a shadow nearby, eyes locked on every move the boss made. Ignoring the crowd's collective gasp, Demirgo dropped back into his seat and went right back to inhaling his noodles like a starving beast. But mid-slurp, a folded slip of paper zipped through the air and landed plop right in his broth. The ink spelled out Trouble Dragon sighted at Leah Castle. Move out. Now. Demirgo shot up, slamming his chopsticks onto the table with a loud crack. His mood flipped instantly to manic cheer. Yo, failure. Lock it up. First mission from our VIP client just dropped. Let's go secure that bag. Jake scrambled to respond. Yes sir, right away. A full moon blazed overhead as the carriage tore through the darkness, hooves thundering like a drumbeat. Inside the trio, Demiurgos, Jake and Alex were hauling serious tail. Alex side-eyed Jake, noticing his hands shaking uncontrollably. Jake glanced back at Demiurgos, who was just vibing in the back seat, totally unbothered. Alex didn't break eye contact. Finally, he couldn't keep quiet. You, sweating bullets, Jake. Jake rubbed the back of his neck, voice cracking. Yeah, I guess. I mean, fighting orcs goblins, sure, but a dragon. Before I teamed up with you and Lord Demiurgos, that was strictly nightmare fuel. Jake paused, letting the wind rush past, then added, You won't believe this, but when I look at Lord Demiurgos, I see zero fear. It's like he's thinking, it's just a lizard bro. Why the panic? Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure I'm going to freeze up the second I see it. Alex smirked, dropping some unexpected wisdom. Fear is good, Jake. It keeps you alive. Doesn't matter if you're scared. Lord Demiurgos drafted you for a reason. You might feel like an NPC right now, but you are the main character of this run. Own it. Jake flushed pink. Right. Alex gave him a hype man nod. You're the leader. Quit whispering and put some bass in your voice. The carriage rattled violently as they raced down the asphalt. Suddenly, Alex shouted, approaching Leah Castle. We're drifting this turn. Hang on to something. He yanked the reins, whipping the carriage around a corner so hard Jake squeezed his eyes shut. When he finally peeled them open, his jaw hit the floor. A colossal fortress loomed ahead, wrapped in the coils of a massive white dragon. The beast was glitching with red veins, roaring in absolute agony. Jake leaned out, eyes popping. Did it already trash the server? What about the civilians? Demiurgos, lounging like a king, pointed a lazy finger. Chill out. They're all huddled over there. Alex scanned the area. A castle that big definitely has some G-rank hunters. They probably evacuated the VIPs already. Demiurgos stifled a yawn, dropping the command. The stage is set. Curtains up. You're on, Savior. Jake broke into a cold sweat, too terrified to talk back. Chaos erupted at the castle gates. Where did this monster spawn from? Is it game over for us? Refugees clung to freezing rocks, faces raw from the biting wind. A cocktail of terror and hopelessness. Medics, get blankets on the wounded. It's freezing. I can't feel my legs. Amidst the panic, a heavy-set man prayed violently. Oh God, hit the pause button on this storm. Why have you ghosted us? From the crowd, a cynic shouted back. The king ditched us. Why wouldn't God do the same? Meanwhile, inside a magical barrier, someone complained. Ugh, it's a sauna in here. The king sprawled on his portable throne, while mages worked overtime to keep the chill out. The king scratched his cheek, irritated. Seriously, where are those so-called heroes? It's sweltering in here. Take us back to the castle. An old priest trembled as he reported they're likely dead, sire. No signal from any of them. The king exploded. What useless, figure it out yourself. I'm going to melt out here. Suddenly a scream pierced the air. Make way, coming through. The king froze. Out of nowhere, Jake's carriage launched off a ramp like an action movie stunt. The crowd roared. The hero is here. The king leaned back, eyes wide. Jake's watery eyes sparkled in the wind as the carriage soared right over the king's head. The monarch squinted, muttering, a hero that's just a pervert in his underwear holding a broom. The king screamed, they're bailing, catch them. They popped the barrier, the cold is getting in. Instantly, the magical heat shield vanished. Hey, it's freezing. Recast the spell. The old priest collapsed. Mana completely drained. The king's face turned purple with rage. How dare they stunt on me like that? I hope the dragon turns them into a snack. Nearby, a kid tugged on his mom's sleeve in the blizzard. He pointed at the flying vehicle. Mom, look. The mother squinted through the snow. What is it, sweetie? Ahead of them, the carriage was kamikazeing straight toward the dragon. The boy asked, is that guy fighting the boss in his undies, Mom? The crowd watched. Jaws on the floor. You gotta be kidding me. That's our savior. The naked guy is supposed to clear the dungeon. Inside the carriage, Jake's knees knocked together. He looked back at his crew, shivering. I'm freezing. And mortified. Mostly mortified. Jake gritted his teeth, glancing at the frozen spectators, his internal monologue screaming. There's too many of them. We're trapped. Everyone's gone. Jake snapped his head up, eyes wide with panic. But then he spotted something insane. Their squad was pulling up literally inches from the beast's lair. Right on cue, Demiurgos broke the silence. Alex, failure. Showtime. Dude was straight up lounging in the carriage, tossing out orders like he was ordering takeout. Stick to the script. Failure. Post up center stage. Alex bagged the target. Drop it right at Failure's feet. Then sweep it into oblivion. Simple, right? Jake, freezing his face off, thought. Called it. Same old strategy, different day. Demiurgos didn't even lift his head, just side-eyed Alex. Especially you. Don't fumble the bag. Do not make me step in like last time. Alex bowed, pure devotion in his voice. Say less, master. I got you. With a flick of his wrist, Alex tore a purple rift in reality. He rose slowly, shedding his disguise to unleash his true demonic form. Last time this humble servant struggled because I underestimated the ops he announced from the carriage. Won't happen again. I'm locked in. Suddenly, Demiurgos cut him off, voice icy. Don't kill it. Bring it back breathing. Alex's grin turned savage. Understood, sir. In that case, I'll just beat it until it wishes it was dead. He spun toward Jake, who was literally vibrating with cold in the corner. Alex removed his hat. Look, the dragon's massive. It's gonna get messy out there. Just plant your feet and don't flinch. He stepped into the void, dropping one last line before vanishing. Catch you on the flip side. Jake panicked. Messy, don't flinch, Sir Alex. Demiurgos interrupted, bored. Jake, kill the engine. Failure. He waved a dismissive hand. I'm taking a power nap. Go handle that dragon, chop chop. Jake froze. Sir Demiurgos. A monstrous roar shattered the air in the distance. Jake was shook. He hugged himself, trembling. Master, can you maybe… Tag along? I'm literally about to wet myself. Internally screaming, I knew this boss fight would be a nightmare. Up on the castle, the brood clung to the dragon's hide. Heads snapped toward the noise. Alex surged from the rift, hovering midair, eyes locked on target. Pure determination. The hatchlings sensed the alpha predator. Instantly rigid, they morphed into living spikes and launched at him. But Alex, too smooth. He weaved through the assault, dancing around the attacks. Every time they touched him, face, body, whatever, they shattered like glass against his aura. A few clashes later, the dragon lost its grip. It plummeted, crashing into a massive explosion of snow. Jake, watching from the sidelines, witnessed the takedown. Hands shaking in the biting wind, he gripped his broom jaw clenched. He couldn't speak, just pure hype. Insane. But the smoke cloud blinded him. Is it starting? He wondered. I gotta find a spot where Alex can see me flex. Failure, Demirgos barked. Reflexively, Jake grabbed a wooden shield, clueless. Demirgos, still horizontal, sighed. You always carry that right. A hero needs a shield. That's your dad's legacy, isn't it? He pointed, and violet energy wrapped around the wood. Jake stared at the glowing artifact, confused. Demirgos dropped the lore. It's magic armor now. Dragon-proof. Tears welled up in Jake's eyes. My lord, he turned to thank him, but… Snore. The boss was already out cold. Jake hopped off the ride. Sweet dreams, Lord Demirgos. I won't let you down. He needed a prime location stat. Somewhere Alex couldn't miss. He scanned the terrain. High ground. Center stage. Boom. Found it. There Jake bolted for the spot. But coordination wasn't his strong suit. He tripped and tumbled down the hill like a human snowball. Meanwhile, the dragon dragged itself up, howling in agony. The hatchlings hissed, but Alex was done playing. Stomp. Slash. His hands became blades, carving through the mob with zero mercy. Cold-blooded. Suddenly, one hatchling's eye flared blood red. It lunged at Alex with unnatural speed. Caught off guard, Alex skidded back. The parasites on the dragon, gone. The beast roared and launched itself skyward, kicking up a blizzard. Suddenly, a massive hand materialized in the smoke, snatching the dragon's snout mid-flight. Alex smirked, leaping into the air to finish the job. Alex rockets straight toward the beast eyes, laser-focused and burning with pure, unadulterated bloodlust. Closing the distance, he triggers his mana boom. A myriad of spectral purple arms erupts from his back, his aura shifting into something straight-up demonic. He unleashes a devastating combo, giving the wyvern zero time to react. The monster plummets from the heavens like a stone. Impact. The ground quakes violently as the beast slams down, letting out a guttural groan of agony under the crushing pressure. Alex touches down, one limb morphed into a clawed nightmare, and stalks toward his prey. Fast regeneration, he mutters. Is that mass just for show? The creature bellows back, almost like it's arguing. Alex doesn't waste a second. He raises a hand, cold and final. Wrap it up. He's made his call. Far off on the sidelines, Jake watches the beatdown with his jaw on the floor. No freaking way. That's insane. Peeking over the cliff edge, Jake shivers. It's terrifying up here, but Sir Alex, he's soloing a dragon like it's nothing. Suddenly, Jake freezes. Wait, isn't he ranked D? He glances back to see the townspeople going wild, screaming, Hero. Our savior. The crowd's hysteria confuses Jake. Is he actually winning? We're saved. Let's go, hero. Thank the heavens. Tears stream down their faces as the chant echoes louder. Hero, hero. The wall of sound hits Jake, and for a split second he's stunned. Wait, are they cheering for me? The volume spikes. You got this. Let's go. But deep down, Jake knows the truth. Alex is the MVP, while Jake's just standing there, knees shaking. Man, I'm so jealous, he thinks, clenching his fists. I want that main character energy, saving lives, bringing hope. Snap back to reality. A desperate scream cuts through the noise. Help me. Jake's head whips toward the sound. Buried in the ice, a survivor is rapidly freezing over, only half their face visible. Please, save me. Sir Hero. Meanwhile, on the battlefield, the dragon's tail lashes out like a whip, forcing Alex to bail out midair. Crack. The tail obliterates a massive iceberg, sending shards flying. The explosion of sound pulls Jake's attention back to the brawl. Razor-sharp ice rains down, forcing Alex into evasive maneuvers. He scowls, spitting out a curse. Annoying. The beast stomps, blasting a crater of snow into the air. It unleashes a roar so loud it rattles the very bedrock. Then it chitters in some alien tongue. Alex locks eyes with the monster. So infinite regen, huh? As long as the host ticks you heal. Is it the parasite? His analysis is ice cold. You're basically a zombie dragon. The titan shifts its weight, screeching in agony as glowing red veins begin to pulsate across its scales. Alex connects the dots. Infinite replication unless I purge the host, literally an undead nightmare. Even after that, pummeling the beast stands tall. A ruthless glint flashes in Alex's eyes. Can't kill it. Fine. Plan B. I'll just rip every limb off its body. Suddenly, the dragon coils its legs and launches itself. It rockets skyward, screaming a challenge that echoes for miles. Jaws unhinged, it dive bombs straight toward the cliffside. Alex doesn't blink. He activates the 100 hands technique, and the air behind him explodes with spectral limbs. They weave together, fusing rapidly. Before the dragon can land a hit, the swarm morphs into one colossal titanic hand. The giant fist clenches and swings a haymaker with god-tier force. Boom! It smacks the dragon straight into the dirt. No mercy, Alex pushes the 100 demon hands to the limit, raining down a barrage of sledgehammer blows on the prone beast. The hands fuse again, grabbing the dragon by the throat and hoisting it high. But wait, white energy starts charging in its maw. Alex looks bored. The dragon fires a cataclysmic beam of absolute zero that rattles the heavens. Even from the cheap seats, Jake gets ragdolled by the shockwave, tumbling face first into the snow. Gasping for air, Jake writhes in pain. Meanwhile, Alex is cocooned in his spectral arms, eyes glowing with lethal intent. Game over. The spectral titan grip tightens, choking a scream out of the beast. Alex's pupils constrict. He's popping his ult. 100 demon hands single strike. In a blur, the massive hand fractures, splitting into 3 distinct claws. They strike from different angles, locking down the dragon's wings in a display of pure dominance. Immobilized and screeching in terror, the dragon is helpless. Alex could not care less. He slams the beast into the earth. Reverse flow piercing finger. The giant hand rears back and drops the hammer. Great demon descent myriad fist, crushing the target mercilessly. In the distance, the crowd watches the titan fall, stunned into silence. Jake sits there processing the insanity. Then a thought hits him like a truck. Oh crap. Not the time to fanboy. Jake scrambles to his feet and sprints toward the survivor. Gotta move, gotta move. He slides up to the victim, who's violently shaking from hypothermia. Hang tight, I'm getting you out of here now. Jake braces his hands against the ice block. The freeze didn't just bite, it chewed right through to the bone, making every cell in his body scream. Freezing, he gasped. Then he saw him. A frozen statue of a man dead on his feet, body shielded over a girl. He'd given everything to protect her. Underneath that icy tomb, a toddler faced a total mess of snot and tears. The mother's weak voice cut through the wind. Please, take the baby. Jake didn't hesitate. He swung his broom like a warhammer, smashing the iceberg. Crack! The prison of ice exploded into a million shards. Hang tight, I'm getting you out, he yelled, trying to sound confident. But his gut twisted with a darker truth. The dad's gone. I have to leave him to save the mom and kid. Meanwhile, Alex and that beast were locked in a deathmatch nearby. Jake did the math fast. Sir Alex is incoming. I gotta grab them and bail, as soon as possible. Stick to the plan. Suddenly, the dragon started glowing. Blinding white energy coiled around it. The crowd screamed, "That light! It's happening again!" Pull back, hero. That's the nuke that leveled our castle. The glare turned blinding, intensifying by the second. A shockwave of pure energy ripped across the snow straight for Jake. He threw up his shield just in time. Demirgos's enchantment held. For a split second. Then smash. The barrier disintegrated into dust. Jake was ragdolled backward, flying 20 feet through the air. The crowd watched in horror as the death beam chased him down. It was over. Or so they thought. Even the king shivered as the temperature plummeted. Frigid, he gasped. Ice crystallized on the dragon's scales, making it screech in agony. But Alex, he didn't even flinch. Déjà vu, Alex smirked. Keeping this Zada barrier up for a battle 2 centuries in the future is a total drag. What a pain. Meanwhile, a snowdrift started shifting. Jake groaned from beneath the powder. One eye cranked open. Still breathing, Lord Demirgos's shield magic must have saved my bacon. A violent shiver racked his body. So cold. Then, adrenaline spike. The baby. He clawed his way out of the snowbank. The sound of wailing filled the air. Thank God the kid made it. But the mother, she was gone, frozen stiff in a protective embrace. Damn it, Jake hissed through gritted teeth. Ma'am, hang on, I'm coming. He tried to launch himself up, but his body screamed, no. Something was seriously wrong. He glanced back and his stomach dropped. His legs, shattered glass. Frostbite had claimed them, and one arm was dangling uselessly. Above the ice encasing the dragon cracked and shifted. The crowd scrambled back in terror. It's waking up, he's not down, run. Hero, get out of there, they screamed. Jake's fist clenched until the knuckles turned white. No, I'm saving this kid. I might be a screw-up of a hero, but I'm not leaving a baby behind. The warnings were just background noise now. Look out, Jake dragged his broken body through the snow, inching toward the crying infant. Total focus. I can't save the world like the big guys, but I can save this one life. I have to. That was his promise. Meanwhile, Alex watched the dragon charge up for round 2. Alex actually laughed. Don't you get it? Your parlor tricks don't work on me. That's why humans play you like a fiddle. You dumb dragon god. Boom. The dragon unleashed another blinding wave of energy stronger than before. Jake curled around the baby, bracing for impact. The blast hit, launching them sky high. He squeezed his eyes shut. Darkness, then warmth. A heavy fur coat draped over him. Jake blinked open, totally confused. He looked up at the towering figure. Demirgos stood there, looking annoyed. I really don't get it. Why do they fight? They're fragile. Like candle flames, one puff and they're gone. Yet they throw their lives away for strangers. Did we actually lose to these things? 66,500 years ago. Humans make 0 sense, Demirgos grumbled. Jake managed a weak, pained grin. Lord Demirgos, sorry I was slow. I'll do better next time. And then lights out. He face-planted into the snow. Later. Jake's eyes fluttered open. He groaned, drifting in and out. Then snap. Wide awake. He was mummified in bandages. The dragon, is it dead? What happened? Panic mode engaged. He scanned the wrecked room. Wait. Isn't this Lord Demirgos' place? He scratched his head, dizzy. Why am I crashing here? Did I black out? Then he froze. His arm. Jaw drop. He ripped the blanket off. There were his legs stitched up, ugly but attached. I thought I was an amputee for sure. How is this possible? Suddenly a voice cut in. Guess the dragon god ain't total trash. This gig, way better than I expected. Yeah, I could get used to this. Jake snapped to attention the second that voice hit his ears. He bolted upright, eyes locking onto the figure below. Lord Demogorgon. His jaw practically hit the floor. Standing casually next to a massive stack of lethal hardware was Demogorgon. The demon glanced up, chill as ever. Yo, finally awake. Jake just blinked, arm raised in total confusion. Yeah. Wait, am I in one piece? And the dragon? No, the kid. Is the kid okay? The questions tumbled out of his mouth. Demogorgon smirked, sensing the panic overload. Chill out. The lizard and the brat both handled. So quit stressing. If you're done napping, get down here. We got a mess to clean up. Shop isn't gonna open itself, is it? Failure. That nickname hit Jake like a pause button. A beat later, a grin split his face. Just seeing that grumpy expression made every single worry evaporate. That was the start of the grind. Jake stood tall on their old carriage, locked and loaded for whatever beast the dragon god threw at them. Civilians were scattering, screaming, "Run, help us." In the eye of the storm, Demogorgon just pointed a lazy finger. Failure. Sick 'em, Jake bellowed to the sky. Sir Alex, you're up. High above. Alex burst from a purple magic circle. He dive-bombed the target, a purple streak of destruction. Boom. One hit, one dead dragon. Flawless victory. Every kill triggered the same weird event. A shadowy figure would swoop in and vanish the carcass. No explanations, just efficiency. Back at base, Jake yelled up at the window. Master Demogorgon stumbled out of bed, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. He peered down, knuckle deep in his nose, just as a broadsword plummeted from the heavens and impaled the earth in front of him. Then came the steel rain. Clang, clang, clang. Demogorgon looked up to see Jake hauling the new inventory with a goofy smile. Like clockwork, the morning after a sleigh meant a mountain of high-grade weaponry dumped right on their doorstep. Demogorgon flashed a lazy thumbs up. Good enough. And the road trip from hell kept rolling. Next up, a dragon looking like a rainbow explosion. Jake didn't even flinch. He just squared his shoulders. He picked his angle and roared, "Sir Alex." The aerial ace dropped from the clouds. Bam, one-shot kill. Through all the carnage, Demogorgon was sawing logs completely unbothered. The loot kept stacking up. Wheels turning, seasons changing. Facing a snow dragon, Demogorgon just flicked a light bomb out the window like a cigarette butt. Flash. Vaporized. That was the rhythm. Dragon dies, inventory flies. The carriage tore down the highway while the boss man snoozed in the back, ignoring reality. Wake up, collect weapons, repeat. Then came a sunset that painted the sky blood red. Jake was hustling at their pop-up stall, slinging noodles to the locals. Demogorgon and Alex. They were inhaling their bowls like vacuum cleaners. Jake grinned at the peaceful scene. But mid-slurp, a piece of paper fluttered down and landed smack in Demogorgon's soup. The note was clear, dragon spotted. Sandcastle. Cheeks still stuffed like a chipmunk. Demogorgon shot up. Let's roll. They scrambled into the carriage, drifting towards the next boss fight. Standard procedure. Demogorgon napped until arrival. Then snap eyes open, killer instinct activated. Attack. This wasn't a skirmish. It was a war. Jake stared down a behemoth plated in armor, its maw gaping wide enough to swallow a truck. Double trouble, a fire dragon joined the party. But Jake moved like water-dodging infernos with pure instinct. He launched himself skyward, channeling the forbidden arts, Demon King style. Impact. The beast couldn't even process the speed. It let out a death rattle and crumbled to dust. Jake was a whirlwind of violence. The dragons were just punching bags now, taking hit after critical hit. Dust settled. Jake limped out of the smoke legs, wrapped in bandages, and soaked in gore, clutching the spoils of war. The massive carcass loomed behind him. Suddenly, a roar erupted, not from a beast, but from the people. Jake spun around. The crowd was going feral. It's the Dragon Slayer, a gift from the Lord. He saved Doria Castle. He's saving us too. What a legend. Standing in the shadows, Demogorgon watched his protege shine. As Jake hobbled over, the demon nodded. Not bad. Failure. They slapped a high five that echoed victory. Jake couldn't stop grinning. Word traveled fast. Team Demon was officially the hottest crew in the region. The trio stood side by side, gazing at their masterpiece. Alex broke the silence. Is it finally ready? Behold the Demon Weapon Shop Branch 1. The doors swung open to reveal a space that screamed money. Thousands of blades glittered under the lights. Jake's eyes sparkled just as bright. Whoa. This place is bougie as hell. Lord Demirgo slid his hands into his pockets, pivoting to face Alex with a low whistle of approval. Damn. I didn't expect the interior to turn out this sick. You guys really went all out. Forget the local competition. Even the major guilds can't touch this aesthetic. A wicked grin curled Demirgos' lips. Glad you like it, because you two are running the whole show. Alex and Jake froze, jaws dropping. Wait us, what about you, Demirgos? Just laced his fingers behind his head, smirking like a king on vacation. Since when does the boss do the grunt work? My job is chilling and stacking cash. And if you're thinking about complaining, remember who was actually hyped about managing this place. Spoiler alert, it wasn't me. Seeing their defeat, Demirgos relaxed, letting out a satisfied laugh. Settled then, grind hard, and make this place an empire. Just as he finished, a timid voice cut in. Lord Demirgos. The laughter cut off abruptly as the boss turned to eye Jake. The kid was scratching the back of his neck, looking awkward. Is it cool if I keep my side hustle at the stall after my shift? I gotta scrape together cash. For my twins' tuition fees. Demirgos waved a dismissive hand instantly. Whatever. Do your thing. He snapped his attention to his other subordinate. Alex. Fetch the package. Later that afternoon, as the sunset bled crimson across the sky, the trio gathered around a covered object, the air thick with anticipation. The main event had arrived. Whoa. Jake breathed out, eyes wide. The object on the tray was pulsing with a sinister deep purple miasma. That looks insane, Jake whispered. Demirgos stepped up and gripped the handle. The second skin met metal violet sparks crackled and hissed through the air. He hoisted the shield effortlessly. Specs. Now. Alex cleared his throat, reading from a clipboard. Doom's Lagoon. Base material, dragon scales. Harvested from a high-tier raid reward. Fused with emeralds, rubies, and forged with god-tier craftsmanship. This is a genuine SS rank artifact. Only heroes should even look at it. Forged by Hamid, the underworld's top blacksmith. Alex didn't stop there. Durability is off the charts. It can tank 3 to 4 direct hits from a Demon King without a scratch. Dwarven engineering really is legendary. Of course, when Alex said underworld, he meant the actual demon realm, but Jake, he just assumed it was some dwarf thing. Suddenly, Demirgos lobbed the heavy shield right at him. Jake scrambled to catch it. Heads up, failure. Don't drop it, Demirgos barked. Before Jake could adjust his grip, a blinding purple flash exploded in his face. Jake flinched, shutting his eyes. When he peeled them open, the shop was gone. He was floating in an endless abyssal void. What the? Where am I? Cold sweat broke out as he spun around, screaming into the darkness. Lord Demirgos. A voice deep and ancient rumbled from everywhere at once. A human, did you summon me? Jake whipped around, heart pounding. Looming behind him was a gigantic bloodshot eye, a perfect replica of the one on the shield. The pupil dilated as it spoke. I am Doom's Lagoon. I pledge myself to you, Master, until my life force burns to ash. Jake's jaw hit the floor. Master me. Before his brain could process the upgrade, the giant eye erupted with blinding lightning. Jake threw his hands up to shield his face. Flash. He was back in the shop, blinking away the after images. Wait, where did Doom go? He looked around, totally dazed. No answer. Just Demirgos' icy command cutting through the air. Incoming. Block it, Jake. Jake froze, confusion written all over his face. He didn't even have time to breathe before Demirgos flicked his wrist. A massive shockwave of pure energy roared toward him. Terror seized Jake, draining the blood from his face. Pure instinct forced him to raise the shield. The shield's eye flared purple, catching the blast, but the momentum was insane. Jake went flying backward, smashing straight through a solid brick wall. Debris rained down as the dust settled. Alex stared at the hole in the wall, losing it. Are you kidding me? We literally just built this place. Who destroys their own shop? Demirgos shrugged, totally unbothered. Relax. Just a little stress test. A hand clawed its way out of the rubble. Jake dragged himself up, clutching the shield, a goofy, ecstatic grin plastered on his face. He waved frantically through the dust. Lord Demirgos, did you see that? This thing is a beast. An A-rank hero. Heck, even an S-rank would kill for this. Demirgos nodded, eyes gleaming with satisfaction. It's only at 1% output, but it still tanked my Spear of Ruin. Not bad. He hardened his expression. Hey, failure. Jake popped up like a puppy. Yes, sir. Demirgos dropped the bomb. Keep it. It's yours now. Jake looked like he'd been struck by lightning. You're too squishy right now. Consider this the first upgrade of many. Try not to die. Jake's voice trembled. For real. A single heavy teardrop splashed onto the dark metal. Demirgos blinked, genuinely thrown off guard. Alex went silent too. Jake squeezed the shield against his chest, sobbing openly now. You're giving this to me. I'm just a useless low-rank nobody. Do I really deserve this? Demirgos stared at him, lips pressed into a thin line. A pause, then a rare soft tone. Yeah, you do. That broke the dam. Jake bawled harder. He cradled the shield like a newborn snot running down his face, swearing an oath to the heavens. I'll cherish this, even if I live for 1,000,000 years. I can't believe this is real. Holding a shield this legendary, it's practically a dream. This thing is the absolute peak of defense gear. Demirgo isn't buying the drama, replying with zero warmth. You moron. I haven't even touched you yet, so quit the waterworks. Cut to the ruins of Akoma Castle. The place is total wreckage, but inside, a squad of bandits is partying like there's no tomorrow. The boss flexes his hand, dripping in stolen gold and sneers. Look at all this loot. Heavy as the head, right? You guys really cleaned up. I never expected a haul this massive. Can't take it to the grave, old man. Guess that dead king didn't have a soul after all. His gaze drops to Princess April, frozen on the floor in defeat. His voice drips with pure mockery. Isn't that right, princess? He flops onto the throne, laughing like he owns the world. But right in the middle of their victory lap, distinct footsteps echo through the hall. The party dies instantly. Heads turn. A shadow looms in the doorway, silent and ominous, completely ignoring the room as he strides up the stairs. The stranger's entrance is so bold, it sucks the air right out of the building. Every eye is glued to him. He moves with unnatural grace, scanning corners like he's hunting for clues. He heads to the second floor, whispers "not here," and immediately spins back around. His pace quickens, heading back to the main hall, confusing the drunken mob. He weaves through the bodies sprawled on the floor like they're just obstacles on a map, then freezes dead center. He drops a hand to the ground, sensing the vibrations. No battle damage from the gates to this spot. Weird. The bandit king on the throne looks down, ego fully bruised, shouting, "Who the hell are you?" The stranger looks up, revealing a chill smile. "Pretend I'm not here. Keep partying." As he speaks, he coils his legs, storing potential energy. Boom! He launches vertically, sticking the landing right in the boss's face. The guy is so shook, his jaw practically hits the floor. The intruder crouches palm to the stone. Eyes glowing toxic green, he mutters, "Found it." A shockwave ripples out, and he snaps upright, locking eyes with the leader. The pressure in the room spikes. It feels like a mountain just got sliced in half. The bandit questions if this guy is even human. Terrified, he grits his teeth, trying to form words, then screams, "Get this freak out of here." The minions roar, "Yes, sir," and rush in. The stranger doesn't even turn fully around, just waves a dismissive hand. "Don't. It's dangerous. You guys have so much to live for." But the goons ignore the warning and charge. He wags a finger like a disappointed teacher. Servants of the divine shouldn't act like this. A flash of light blitzes the room. The attackers don't even see it coming. Their legs get deleted from the server instantly. He points at the survivors. "Stay put unless you want to end up like them." The boss points a trembling finger. "Magic. What is this? Who are you really?" Mystery guy keeps that $1,000,000 smile plastered on his face. Management is very concerned about the situation down here. "A massive threat has emerged, so I've been deployed to investigate. I'm expecting full cooperation." Management. The stranger nods. "That shimmering demon castle? Yeah. I'm a rep for the big guy. The savior." The bandit leader who thought he was the big shot savior is now paralyzed with fear. The agent leans in his smile, turning predatory, and says, "Since you're in the loop, let's skip the small talk. Confess. What went down that day? Who was it? What happened? Why?" The rapid-fire interrogation leaves the bandit leader bug-eyed with panic, unable to form a sentence. The agent doesn't pause, wiping out Akoma, one of the biggest fortresses, in a split second and vanishing into thin air. That takes serious skill. The bandit shivers, forcing out the words, "I don't know anything. I just heard rumors from the town traders. They mentioned someone with white hair. That morning, they saw a sketchy white-haired dude entering and leaving the city." Moments later, screams erupted, and the castle just detonated. At the mention of white hair, the agent's eyes flare with green energy. The bandit shrinks back, terrified. That's the truth. Only God knows the rest, because everyone inside was instantly wiped out. The agent smirks like a puzzle piece just clicked into place. He turns to walk away, tossing back a casual, "Thanks for the intel." The bandit suddenly finds his courage and yells, "He's the real savior of this land. You wouldn't get it." Akoma was a fortress built on the suffering of the poor. It was corrupt to the core. That white-haired kid was sent by the divine to slay the tyrant and give us back our lives. He's the true hero, way more capable than that guy who just used his divinity to party. The agent stops dead, looking back with eyes full of lethal intent, graceful speech. But we'll see if he's a divine messenger or just a rogue element. He raises a hand covered in rings. "Oh, and one more thing." Snap. He clicks his fingers and the bandit leader is instantly sliced in two. "Disrespect him again, you expire." The scene shifts abruptly. A familiar pair of boots stomps down on a grotesque creature. "Found you, you filthy germ." A voice corrects him. "It's a parasite, actually." Same drill as always. Drop a pin on the location and let the golden dragon god clean up the mess. Mission wrapped. The duo strolled away across the lush grass, leaving the chaos behind. Demiurgos lazily clasped his hands behind his head, tossing a heavy sigh at Alex. "Not gonna lie, this was fun at first, but the grind is getting real. Isn't this becoming a major headache for the Dragon Clan? Honestly, the Golden Dragon God needs to step up and handle her own business. She's got the god title, doesn't she?" Alex broke it down. "It's not that simple. She's currently stuck in a mortal vessel, which complicates things. I'm not 100% on the details, but it ties back to the archives in the Library of Time and Space. That's the ancient database where the gods logged the world's true history ages ago. See, magic can hack memories and edit normal texts, but once data hits the Library of Time and Space, it's locked in forever. Irrefutable proof. Hard receipts. Demiurgos started to piece the puzzle together. So that's why she's moving in the shadows. She's terrified of the paper trail in that library. Her presence here is likely a Black Ops secret she can't afford to leak. Demiurgos mused on the thought. But hey, how's a normie like me supposed to grasp the drama of dragon gods? Is it really that deep? As they neared the transport, Demiurgos spotted Jake slumped against the wheel, eyes shut. He scoffed. Look at this failure, passed out cold again. Alex offered a soft smile. Cut him some slack. He's exhausted. Demiurgos shot him a confused look, finally noticing the blood soaking Jake's gear. Alex clarified. He played it cool, but he just went toe-to-toe with a dragon that would wreck an S-rank hero. He's the only one with the tech to tank those hits. Suddenly, something caught Demiurgos' eye. Check the shield. Why is it swaddled in cloth like a newborn? The wind whispered past them as Alex dropped some lore. He treats that hunk of metal like gold. Says he's saving it to pass down to his little brother when the kid becomes a hero. Total idiot. I told him to just use the thing and buy a fresh one for the kid later. Demiurgos breezed past unbothered. Whatever. Let's roll. Just toss his carcass in the carriage and let him recover. The moon hung high, lighting their path. The silence stretched until Demiurgos finally snapped it. He never took the wrapping off, did he? He glanced back at Jake, who was sawing logs in the back. Bandages still wrapped his limbs, and he was clutching that cloth-covered shield like a teddy bear. Alex nodded. I thought the medics were slackers, but they actually did a solid job. If you're gonna slice someone up, you better know how to stitch them back together. Guess this isn't their first rodeo. Demiurgos smirked, a thought brewing. Hypothetically, if this guy didn't start from zero, could he have been top tier? He's got the grit. If he had the stats, he'd be unstoppable. Alex laughed, shutting it down. Quit dreaming. If that fantasy were real, in 20 years you two would be mortal enemies. Demiurgos pointed at his own chest, offended. Me, beefing with that moron. Why? Because you're destined to walk the path of the Demon King. Say what now? Look at me, I scream. Loyal sidekick. Not Dark Lord right. But the thought lingered. Demiurgos pushed. Okay, say you're right. Does that make Jake the savior of humanity? Alex didn't hesitate. Impossible. He's not Generation Zero. Alex's gaze turned razor sharp. It's the physics of this world. The ultimate hero drops in the 5th generation. Average guy has a child at 20. That kid has a kid at 20. Rinse and repeat. By the time the 5th gen kid hits 20, exactly 1 century has clocked over. That's D-Day for the Demon King's return. That kid declares war and the Generation Zero cycle reboots. Generation Zero only allows for 1 hero. A 4th gen scrub like Jake Zero chance. His kid though, maybe. Demiurgos erupted into laughter, throwing Alex off guard. He stared up at the void above. So that's the script. Every 100 years the Demon King spawns and the universe prints a hero to match. As the moon climbed, Demiurgos' cackle turned manic. What a rigged game. Alex sat there, just watching the show. Finally he asked, Boss, you gonna tell me now why you bailed on the whole Demon King gig? Demiurgos dodged eye contact, playing innocent. Did I forget to mention that? Yeah, you did. He tapped his chin, feigning deep thought. For real, weird that I slipped up on that detail. Who knows? Then he glanced sideways, voice dropping. It's whatever. I don't want the crown because… Boom. An explosion tore through the sky overhead, bathing them in blinding light before he could finish. Demiurgos snapped his head toward the noise. Is that an airship? In this timeline, that's gotta be royal nobility tech. Alex spotted a crimson drake circling the vessel. Panic in his voice, he yelled. They're under siege, dragon attack. The Marquis blinked, caught completely off guard. Another dragon. Since when are legendary beasts this common? Suddenly the color drained from Alex's face. He gasped. Impossible. That's… Flames licked at the insignia emblazoned on the ship's hull, threatening to consume it. But Alex's eagle eyes caught it before it vanished. The holy fir tree, the crest of the absolute purest bloodline. A legendary house that's birthed hundreds of heroes. We're talking royalty among royalty. Why would ancient allies turn on each other after thousands of years? It doesn't add up. Everything's spiraling out of control lately. Suddenly, yo Alex, the Marquis's voice snapped him out of it. He spun around, startled. What's up? The Marquis grinned, pointing at the crash site near the mountain. Let's go catch the fireworks. Boom, the wreckage hanging off the cliff detonated. Down below, a platoon of heavy hitters was scrambling. They were hauling a massive cart. Watch it. One spark and this blows. Pick up the pace. Why does this thing weigh a ton? A commander barked heave-ho. The grunts grit their teeth. They braced shields on shoulders, straining against the ropes with everything they had. Suddenly, crack. Another blast rocked the valley. The line snapped. Debris rained down from the cliff face. The bandit leader whipped around his face, turning a violent shade of purple. You absolute morons, I said, handle with care. The soldiers hit the dirt, terrified. No one dared talk back. Yes, sir, but the boss wasn't done venting his rage boiling over. His face contorted like a baboon's backside teeth grinding audibly. Imbeciles. The squad scrambled back to their feet. They hoisted the cargo instantly. The leader muttered under his breath, "Do these fools have any idea of the value? Lift. If I see one, scratch heads are gonna roll." But before he could finish his threat, K-boom, a deafening roar tore through the air behind him. The blood drained from his face. High above, the crimson-eyed beast was circling. Fire raged, illuminating the entire canyon. The leader swallowed hard. "We're busted." The dragon dived closer. Smoke and flames leaked from its maw. "Incoming." The leader's expression went dark as he barked orders. "It wants the loot. Defend the cargo with your lives, archers, mages, battle stations." A unified SIR echoed as the troops locked in. Archers drew their strings taut. Arrows notched. Mages channeled their mana, eyes locked on the descending predator like hawks. The heat intensified. The leader screamed, fire fingers released the bowstrings. A volley of arrows streaked skyward. The mages unleashed a torrent of dark energy. Lightning crackled, striking the beast, but it was like throwing pebbles at a tank. The dragon unhinged its jaw. Whoosh, a massive cone of fire engulfed the bandits, incinerating the ground where they stood. The blast wave sent the leader tumbling. He ended up face down butt in the air, cowering from the debris. Satisfied with the barbecue, the dragon banked and flew off. The portly leader was left shivering in the dust. "Damn it all to hell," he cursed, spitting dirt. Once he caught his breath, he spun around to his crew. "The package, is it intact?" An archer nursing a burn gave a thumbs up. "Yes, sir. It's secure." The tubby boss checked the cart and exhaled. Thank God. Then a shadow fell over him. His face twisted into a mask of horror. The winged nightmare was doubling back for round 2. Shaking like a leaf, he shrieked, "It's back." He hadn't even had 5 minutes to stop sweating bullets. "It's just a hatchling. Don't miss this time, you morons." The archer scrambled back into formation. Bows drawn, spells prepped. They aimed for the kill. But the dragon, it looked at them like they were ants. Maw wide, it dive-bombed. The fat leader looked ready to pop a blood vessel. "End this now. On 3. Hey, move." A calm voice cut him off. The leader barely had time to blink. A boot planted itself firmly on the leader's head, using him as a launch pad. Face in the dirt, the leader was ready to explode until he looked up. A young man with flowing golden locks stood majestically between him and the beast. A literal knight in shining armor. Recognition flashed in the bandit's eyes. Lord Vios. Vios landed, and in a single motion the massive drake was cleaved clean in half. Thud. The monster hit the earth. Vios leaned casually on his gleaming blade, voice icy. "Do you have a death wish?" "You'd be toast if you hadn't ducked, moron." The fat leader scrambled after him, oozing flattery. "Oh, Lord Vios, my savior." Piece of cake. Even for a juvenile, we crushed it. "You are absolute perfection, sir." Vios didn't even flinch. A frown creased his forehead. "A dragon is still a dragon, juvenile or not. Just shut up and polish my blade." A trembling, sugary voice replied, "Yes, my lord." Vios barked more orders. "Scrub this gore away and signal for backup." The portly man holding the massive sword nodded like a bobblehead. But before the sycophant could even fake a smile, Vios whipped around, shooting him a glare sharp enough to cut glass. "If word of this leaks for any reason, your head will be divorcing your neck. Are we clear?" "See, crystal clear, sir." The chunky subordinate bowed so low he nearly tipped over. "You can rest 100% easy." Suddenly, Vios froze. A deep, resonant voice cut through the air. "Is this the secret you were whispering about?" Below them, Demirgos and Alex emerged, capes snapping in the wind as an inferno erupted behind them. The archers gasped, blinded by the sudden flare. The heavyset man craned his neck, screaming, "Who the hell are you?" Demirgos didn't answer. He just stepped up. With a savage kick, his long legs shattered the tarp covering the cage. His crimson eyes flashed dangerously as he peered into the darkness. Well, you claimed it was cargo, but this is a full-blown dragon." A guttural growl vibrated from the cage, startling Demirgos. He didn't blink, locking eyes with the beast. Fascinating. A pureblood. No parasites, just raw dragon power. He glanced back at Alex, who was standing like a statue behind him. "So that's why the little one was hunting you down." "It was trying to rescue its mother." Alex nodded solemnly. "That is my assessment." Demirgos sighed, his own eyes glowing with a sinister red light. "Aren't you guys supposed to be dragon slayers, part of some noble hero clan? This whole setup smells like a dirty conspiracy." Vios glared down at Demirgos with pure venom. "Great. More trash to take out." His arrogance only made Demirgos grin. Alex tilted his head. "My liege, why are you antagonizing him?" Demirgos let out a dark chuckle. "Come on, aren't you curious to see what a direct descendant can actually do?" Vios turned his back, dropping one cold command. "Dispose of them." The sheer dismissal made both Demirgos and the fat man scoff in disbelief. But a second later, the lackey puffed up his chest, overflowing with borrowed confidence. "I don't know who you punks are, but you've seen too much. Squad, wipe them out." The private army snapped to attention. On command, they surged forward like a tidal wave. Demirgos watched Vios walk away utterly disappointed. He's seriously bailing. I expected more from a hero's bloodline. Boring. Alex, slaughter the lot of them. When nothing happened, Alex dropped a line that made Demirgos pause. But Sir Demirgos, aren't we currently role-playing as a hero's noble companions? Demirgos pouted like a petulant child. So, what's your point? Alex pressed on. Attacking a direct descendant feels off-brand for a hero's sidekick, doesn't it? Demirgos tapped his chin. Huh. Valid point. Wait, is this guy a holy rank? Like Jake, Alex tracked Vyas's retreating figure. Affirmative. Hero families possess the holy status. Plus the botanical surname proves they are blessed. Demirgos looked genuinely confused. What is up with that? Was the first hero a shrub or something? Why the obsession with tree names? Alex went into lecture mode. They adopt the name of the most abundant tree in their dominion. Demirgos still looked blank. Okay, but why? It's not like every day is Arbor Day. Weirdos. While the duo stood there chatting, the fat commander turned purple with rage. Those bastards are mocking us. What are you waiting for, fire? The mages instantly lit up their staffs. Archers drew back their strings, locking onto Demirgos. 3 massive energy blasts converged on their location, but the attack hit nothing but dust. The soldiers and mages whipped their heads around in panic. Demirgos was already behind them, casually continuing the conversation. They're shooting at us, right? Let's wrap this up before they actually wake up. The fat man and his troops screamed in unison. What the? When did they get behind us? Alex was still lecturing Demirgos. Eliminating them is trivial, but the political fallout, is it wise? Demirgos scowled deep. Why are you still on about that? Alex shook his head, scanning the enemy. I repeat, are we not hero companions? Demirgos turned tomato red, screaming. So what? You want us to get on our knees, beg for mercy, and hope they let us go? Alex pointed calmly at the caged dragon. Apologies are futile. We have witnessed a catastrophe-level secret. Demirgos' jaw dropped, his patience snapping. He lunged at Alex. Then what do you want from me? You are so high maintenance, Alex persisted, suggesting a tactical retreat. Demirgos shot back with a sneer. Are you scared of these extras? The fat commander, hearing them treat the battlefield like a comedy club, was so furious a vein throbbed on his forehead. That giant tub of lard is steaming. You disrespecting punks. How long will you mock us? The fat man stood on his podium screeching, kill them, right now. The entire army roared back. Yes, sir. Alex watched the horde stampeding toward him. I tried to avoid the hero family drama, but they insist on dying. Alex's gaze sharpened instantly. A blinding beam of destruction erased everything in front of him. On the other side of the mountain, the landscape remained peacefully beautiful. The sky bled crimson, rocking with blasts deafening enough to wake the dead, but the horses unbothered. Even Jake was still snoozing through the apocalypse. Alex and Demirgos stood tall, totally unfazed by the aggressive mob encircling them. Not a single flinch between the two of them. Footsteps echoed. Then boom. A pint-sized warrior launched into the air, pointing right at Demirgos and screaming, Fire Fist. Alex barely shot him a glance, eyes glowing red. Instant deletion. One soldier just crumbled into black fragments, and immediately another clueless grunt rushed straight in. Big mistake. Alex just hit him with that same sharp death stare. These guys were like annoying mosquitoes to Alex. He turned his back and snapped. The dude's head went flying. The rest of the squad froze, stepping back in pure horror, but Alex wasn't handing out second chances. They rushed him one by one, only to lose their heads in the messy backdrop of total slaughter. A sniper had been camping in the back for a hot minute. Seeing Alex hold still, he poured everything into one lethal arrow release. Fierce tiger strike, but Alex's reflexes were god tier. He dodged the shot and snatched the archer with one hand. He squeezed until bones creaked. Down one, here comes another, yelling lightning strike. Alex looked totally over it. Framing a shot with his hands like a camera, he whispered a command, and instantly 2 void-like circles manifested in the air. That lightning blast got vacuumed into the black hole and spit right back at the caster, forcing him to taste his own medicine. A massive boom rocked the area, lighting up the scene with blinding electric flashes. Alex casually licked the blood from his hand, while Demirgos strolled up from behind, literally yawning. Smirk on his face, red eyes, radiating pure ice. When he finally spoke, his voice was the stuff of nightmares. Nothing beats the thrill of a good slaughter. The chubby guy clutching Vyas's blade watched his army get deleted in real time. Terror gripped his heart. Who are these monsters, he thought. But before he could finish that thought, bam, a boot slammed onto his head, launching Vyas forward. He vaulted toward Alex without saying a word, straight into a shadow clone strike. He landed hard, kicking up a massive cloud of dust and debris. Expensive leather boots on long legs screamed authority. Vyas stood like a king amidst the smoke, his silhouette perfectly framed against the blazing sky. Then a voice cut through. Ugh, this dust is everywhere. Vyas's glowing eyes scanned the battlefield, finally locking onto the high ground where Alex and Demirgos were chilling. Who are you? You wiped my squad and dodged my blade. You Dark Clan blood soldiers or something, Vyas demanded. Demirgos smacked his lips, unimpressed. Wrong. You think everyone strong is a blood soldier. Use that brain of yours. Vias narrowed his eyes. Then, what a dragon. He shifted his stance, ready to pounce. Whatever. Doesn't matter. A glowing jade sword materialized. Vias grinned. I just need to silence the witnesses. Demirgos actually laughed. Another one in a rush to meet his ancestors. You kill me. His vibe shifted instantly. His energy, flared eyes glowing, crimson voice dropping to a gravelly growl. That is physically impossible. You moron. Seeing that mockery on Demirgos' face triggered something. Boom, a surge of power detonated deep inside Vias. A beastly growl mixed with a pathetic scream as blinding light swallowed Vias whole. Even Alex went on high alert. He awakened, Vias roared, swinging his sword and blasting rocks everywhere with raw pressure. The chubby guy covered his mouth, fleeing in terror. Peeking through the debris and screaming, Lord Vias. Vias gritted his teeth, surrounded by floating rocks. Transformation complete. With a savage look and eyes beaming like high beams, he was radiating serious main character energy. But the real main character was just standing there confused. Are you trying to flex right now? No response. Vias cracked the ground and launched. He was moving so fast, even Alex and Demirgos blinked. His eyes were abyssal voids, strange markings creeping up his face. He growled, but Demirgos kept his cool. He's evolved a bit. Vias clenched his jaw, moving at face-melting speeds that distorted his features. He tore right between them, but Alex was still faster. Dodge secured. Vias's blade only smashed into innocent rocks. Soft landing on the high ridge. Demirgos calmly watched the smoke and chaos below. Hey, dummy. Still too slow. Hurry it up, the audience is falling asleep. Suddenly, a voice right next to his ear made him jump. Lord Demirgos. Alex had teleported beside him. He flashed a bright smile. Shouldn't we bail? Demirgos sighed, face dropping like a pouting kid. It was just getting good. Why do you always ruin my fun? Scared of those heroes, Alex didn't hesitate. Yup. As he held up his severed arm, he was still smiling like a psycho. I am a little afraid of him. Demirgos narrowed his eyes at the sparks, clearly pissed off. The sight made Alex's skin crawl, blood surging like a river. What the hell is that? Absolutely revolting. But while the chatter continued, Vias spotted an opening and speed blitzed in. Yet before his blade could connect, Demiurgos' razor-sharp gaze snapped onto him, freezing him cold. The name of the attack died in his throat. Demiurgos' vibe shifted instantly. You can't trick my eyes. Alex, you could have ended this clown in a heartbeat. So, why the hesitation? Boom. A shadow clone strike unleashed, and the two titans smashed into each other, detonating a massive shockwave. Vias tried a dirty sneak attack from behind, but Demiurgos barely blinked. Told you so. That casual smirk on Demiurgos' face sent shivers down his spine. No way, Demiurgos' crimson eyes glowed with menace. You couldn't even scratch me in your dreams. Demiurgos stayed chill, hands buried deep in his pockets, totally unbothered. Vias, however, reset his stance, desperate for another round. He straightened up, spamming slash attacks while screaming, "Are you a blood soldier?" Demiurgos literally just swayed side to side, effortlessly weaving through every strike. No counterattacks, just dodging with footwork lighter than a feather. The gap between them closed and opened like a breathing lung. Demiurgos taunted. Do I really look like one of those grunts to you? One side went full tryhard on offense. The other played defense across the entire mountain range. Steel clashed against magic, sparking explosions and lightning bolts. Demiurgos finally looked around, cracking his stiff neck. He paused, dropping a massive yawn right in Vias's face. He shot a glance at the warrior, who was practically grinding his teeth to dust. After leveling half the mountain peaks, Vias still hadn't landed a single hit. Demiurgos let out a heavy sigh. This is putting me to sleep. I expected more from someone with hero blood, but you're just a mosquito buzzing a little too loud. Every word was a calculated jab, baiting Vias further. I'm too lazy to even finish you off. The people who died to you, before they got to me, Demiurgos sneered, must have been total trash. Finally, Demiurgos planted his foot, winding up for the finisher. He punched every syllable with the weight of a mountain. Assembly, of, extinction. But Alex, deciding to crash the party, speed blitzed in right, as Demiurgos was about to delete Vias. Demiurgos froze, stunned by the sight. Alex had jumped straight into the kill zone, tanking the fatal blow. The blade skewered his chest, forcing him to cough up a chaotic spray of blood. Demiurgos visibly ticked off, stared at the red mess dripping from Alex's chin and growled, "What is your malfunction?" Alex stayed silent. He spun around, slamming into Vias to throw him off balance, then spat a mouthful of pitch-black sludge directly onto him. Vias's glowing eyes were instantly swallowed by the darkness the light snuffed out. Seconds later, his natural eye color returned, but that dark stain clung to him like a curse. It was over. Vias was down for the count. The gaping wound in Alex's chest vanished into thin air. Demiurgos stared at Vias, twitching on the ground, genuinely confused. You knocked him cold instead of killing him. When Alex didn't reply, Demiurgos' voice dropped an octave, dripping with aggression. Why? Alex ignored the blood still running down his chin. Listening to the accusation, he kept avoiding. You made me think he was scared. And now you block my shot to save his miserable life. Demiurgos drilled a hole through Alex with his stare. Explain. Give me a reason right now. Alex hacked out a cough and dropped a line that left Demiurgos speechless. My bad, boss. I don't care about this rookie hero. Alex's expression suddenly hardened into pure resolve. I'm worried about the collective will of this world. Demiurgos blinked. The will isn't chaos? Destruction and mass slaughter kind of your brand? Alex shook his head. That only works on a small scale. Rumor has it, if the Lord steps foot on this land, the entire planet triggers. They'll swarm you like an infinite tide of cockroaches. Even a baby in a crib will crawl at you with a shank. That is human nature. Demiurgos still looked lost. Let the roaches come, millions of them. I'll just incinerate the whole lot. I've been gaming this out for a while, and I still don't see the problem. Looking down at the unconscious Vyas, Demiurgos scoffed. How could a bunch of weaklings ever take me down? It's laughable. Suddenly, his face twisted in shock. Alex was just smiling, a bright, unnerving smile that messed with his head. A realization sparked in Demiurgos' mind. He looked at Alex, totally floored. Wait, there's a variable I'm missing, isn't there? Something I don't know. Alex's eyes narrowed into a smile, keeping his mouth shut. Demiurgos stood amidst the rubble, his rage cooling into curiosity. And I won't find out for another 20 years, Alex, still wearing that beaming grin, finally spoke. Yep. Demiurgos relaxed his stance slightly. You're not going to tell me even if I force you. At best, you'll spout some cryptic nonsense about the will of the world. Right. Alex kept that same plastic smile plastered on his face. You guessed it. Demiurgos nodded slowly. Fine. Let's bounce. Suddenly, a bone-chilling laugh ripped through the air. So what if I do this? Dark claws erupted from his flesh as he transformed. What if I just kill this bastard right here and now? What's the endgame here? His eyes ignited burning crimson as a sinister cross branded itself into his iris. Is that the mark of the will you're so terrified of? Okay, you've officially got my attention. Say I take him out right here, right now. Does a literal god drop from the sky? Or something way nastier? Beats me. But here's the reality check. My whole fantasy of joining the hero's elite squad and living that sweet top 2% lifestyle gone. Up in smoke. Because you'd have to slaughter every single hero standing. You'd have to burn the entire world down just to finish the job. Forget just being a demon king. You'd go down as the undisputed G.O.A.T. of villains, wiping out humanity before the hero even spawns. Actually, that sounds like a solid plan. Hearing that, Demiurgos' face went absolute tomato mode. He looked ready to unhinge his jaw and devour Alex whole. As Alex lifted his boot to curb stomp Vyas, he smirked. You know what? I'll handle this trash personally. The Lord needs to chill. Demiurgos shrieked. No, he sprinted over, draping an arm around Alex like a clingy bestie. Bro, Alex, don't even joke like that. I was just trolling, man. This whole Demon King war drama, not my problem anymore. I'm officially retired from the chaos. Alex kept pushing. So we just gonna leave him hanging like this? Let me just end him and wrap this up. Cool. Just open the gate already. A pitch-black rift swirled open in the air. Demiurgos hopped onto the edge. He tossed a look back. You coming or what? Alex nodded. Right behind you. Just gotta scrub the evidence and cover our tracks. Go relax, my lord. Demiurgos tried to inspect Alex's arm again, but Alex shoved him off fast. This scratch, it'll patch itself up the second I hit the underworld. Seriously, stop stressing. Just go. That seemed to work. Demiurgos bought it. Alex was a total tank after all. He leaped into the swirling void. His voice echoed from the abyss. For real, hurry up. Then Alex bowed low.